Are going to do cross stitch. So with cross stitch tapestry, you go in one direction, cross stitch you go in two.
Yeah.
So whichever way you do it is fine, because left-handers tend to do it that way, right-handers tend to do it that way, as long as you stick with the same way all the way through. So let's pick, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We've got the bird, so at the bottom you've got your list of colours.
Yep.
Okay, and sometimes if the shades are quite similar and it can be a bit tricky, it's probably worth attaching a little bit of yarn to it.
Definitely.
So we're going to do, this is always south, so your colour guide is always south, so that you know you're doing north and you've got continuity.
Right.
So we're going to do this dark blue colour, which is the outline of the head and the wings and the body. So this is the one, so I'm going to pull it, I'm going to show you how to set all this up later.
Oh, right. So have you done this yourself, or it comes to you like this?
No, I've done that myself, and I'll show you how to prep that in a bit now. I need to find my needle. Right. So what we've got is a really good darn needle. So you've got a large eye.
Yeah.
And what you've got is a blunt end. And the reason you've got your blunt end is so that you don't pierce into the background fabric, okay? So it's almost impossible to do it like that, okay? Because it is fibrous. So what I tend to do is fold a little bit over, okay, and I pull it tight, pull it out, and then just slide that in like that. Okay,
much easier.
Much easier. I'm going to be working here. I'm going to start here. So I'm going to tie a little bit in. You want to tie about that much of yarn in to stop it from fraying. But yeah, about that. They're thereabouts. You don't need to get a measuring tape. You don't need to worry about it so much. Right, so I'm going to come up here. So now the stitches are going that way. So I am going to... if I go along here, so I'll only go into a few stitches initially.
So no knots, cross stitches rule.
Well, you can if you want to. I'll show you another way of doing it, slightly differently.
Okay.
Now, what tends to happen is most people will put it right close like that. Okay, I'm going to take that out again because that's what you don't want. What would be best in this circumstance is to leave a tiny little bit of a tail. The reason being, if this is going to be a cushion, or you're going to make it into a bag, you plump up your cushions, it gets slung across the side, you're leaning on it, so you've always got to have that room for movage, if you like.
Wriggle room.
Wriggle room. So I'm going to leave myself a little bit of wriggle room.
Okay.
Now, you could go all the way along. If you did that, it would come out really easily.
Yeah.
So I go back on myself.
Oh, no, that's a really good top tip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will go in like that. What that basically means is you have created a little knot.
Okay.
So you could really pull that and it'd be highly unlikely it would come out.
Nice thing is that's not too bulky either.
It's not too bulky.
Yeah.
The other top tip is when you've finished, whenever I do a hand embroidery project, whatever type of hand embroidery, I'll iron on some lightweight interfacing on the back.
Oh, right.
Because that gives it that double protection. Again, if it's something, it's not too bad. If it's going to be framed in the wall, it doesn't get touched, it doesn't move, etc. But if it's something like a bag or a cushion, it's always being touched and moved, and that extra little bit at the back stops this from fraying. Right, so I'm going to flip that over. Have you ever done cross stitch?
Yes, that's where I started.
Is it?
When I actually
more.
auditioned for the channel, that's the thing that I brought in.
Did you?
And I think that did help a little bit.
What kind of cross stitch was it? What was the pattern?
Tutankhamun. I've done one of those big ones.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Egyptian themes I used to like.
And it's tiny little.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny little. Right, okay, so we're going to do some cross stitch now. I always go that way first.
Yeah.
And then I go that way.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm coming out there and I'm going to go in here. Okay, now you can do a couple of, there's actually all sorts of ways of doing it. So you can go back to front with your hands, like this.
Yeah.
And then bring it back in here. But that is a bit too slow for me.
Let's have a look at this.
I tend to just go like that.
So you're quite an impatient crafter?
Not so much impatient, but sometimes I can ache, and doing that can sometimes be a bit too much.
Yeah.
So I tend to play. Now, you can only do this one way.
Yeah.
You know, you have to go back to front otherwise. So I'm going to go like that.
Loop it under, yeah.
So loop it under.
Right.
There's my tapestry stitch. and I'm going to go back into that corner, back into the next one.
Yeah. And it's nice and easy to do this because the
so
holes
easy.
are so big.
They're big, and also because normally on many cross-stitch kits, you have your blank background that you're
it's
sewing
scary,
into.
isn't it? That
It
first
is really
one.
like, where do I start? And then you have your pattern.
Yeah.
And I used to have a friend who never crossed off the stitches, and I'm like, how do you remember?
Yeah, because then you're like...
I'd get into such a kerfuffle.
Well, also it means that you're not going to be able to start stitching straight away because you're too busy trying to find out where you left her.
Exactly. So, you know, you have to find the centre, and then you get your pencil and you do 4 stitches, and then you pencil. It takes ages. This is lovely. It's been hand printed on there, so it's like painting by numbers, isn't it?
It's a good way to describe it. And also it means you can be a bit more sociable because when you've got that blank canvas and you're backwards and forwards, you're concentrating.
You are. And the thing about this as well is there's multiple ways of doing it, which in my mind says there's no wrong way of doing it. If you were entering it into a competition or you were at school and you were doing it and you had to be absolutely picobello perfect, that's one thing. If you're making it yourself or for a gift, you really don't need to be that concerned with it as long as it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So with cross stitch you can go north to south, east to west, and you can jump around a little bit because, for example, let me think. Right, so if we were doing this blue here, lots of people would then tie in the end, start a new bit over there. But if you think about, you need that much to tie in the end and then you need another lot to start it on that, that's a waste of thread. So you can go from the back from here and jump to there.
Right.
Okay. If you had done this bit already, you would sew it into the back and come out there. If you hadn't, you would have a long piece of thread and then you would end up sewing that thread in anyway. Now, some people would go, you can't do that.
The Puritans.
Yeah, but there are not enough hours in the day.
Yeah.
And actually, you find you tend to waste a lot of thread then.
There's a great saying we've got here, which is life's too short when there's wine in the fridge.
I love it. Oh, I absolutely love it. And again, there's 2 ways you can do it. So I tend to do it mostly where I complete each cross stitch as I go along. But you could do a tapestry stitch like that.
Yeah.
And then you could do another tapestry stitch.
Especially when you've got big expanses.
Absolutely. And then see, I'm getting caught. You
had that lovely thread.
You had that lovely thread.
So soft.
It is beautiful, isn't it? And then you're going to go back on yourself. And you need to think about how you're doing it so you don't waste thread. You don't want to jump across like this. So, you know, when I thought, right, I'm going to do that, and then I'll go down to there. Now, do I go down here? Do I go up? So the most logical thing would probably be go up from there, go up to there, do this section, and then you can jump to, you know, you need to think about how the least amount of waste really when it comes to threads. Also, a really good idea is to get low tack masking tape and run it round the 4 edges.
Right.
Whilst they look pretty secure, they still can come undone. And what you don't see here,
just starting to go.
And what's happening is that's going to eat into, chuck it over the shelf, that's going to eat into your working space, because if you're going to make a cushion with it, you need about 1 inch outside of the main frame. Okay, so by putting the masking tape, it does 2 things. It stops the fraying, and actually when you're cross stitching it can get caught. You can get your yarn caught, and sometimes it can pull it unnecessarily.
Yeah, okay. So. Shall we have a little look through some of the kits?
Do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so you're obviously working with the hummingbird.
I am.
And here it is, so you can see it in its entirety. Can I just say that the wool, is it wool?
It is, it's yarn, yarn,
it's wool,
sorry, and it's been mercerised, which means it's been dipped in a product that makes it a little bit shiny and gives it that lush feel and look to it.
Look at it, and it feels so soft. So as a cushion, it's going to be very tactile.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And if you feel that on there, look, where it's raised, where you've got none on there, and then you can really feel the difference, can't you? It's not a subtle change, it's a
really soft.
So it's got real texture, and it's so soft.
It is super, super soft. Love it. So feast your eyes on this lovely pattern. Do you like it? Because it's beautiful and bright and gorgeous. It's a real eye-catching one, isn't it? So here it is. Look at this. Look at the vivid yellows.
It reminds me of the Caribbean a bit. You know, it's that warmth and that depth. Lovely.
Beautiful, and they're beautiful birds as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So this is £29.99 for the kit. Your item number for your hummingbird is 0, can't read them on 22821. Apologies, it's because my eyesight, which I've been saying since the launch of the channel. Yay. Right, I really need to get my glasses. Next up then, we have got the pansies. This is another really nice bright one.
Beautiful. And what I like is you've got 3 different colour pansies,
Yes.
but within the 3 different colours, you've got a light and a dark. Or a light, a medium and a dark.
Yes.
So your pink, well, they're salmon pink, you've got light, medium and dark. Your purples, you've got light and dark, and the same with the yellow. But what's really clever, and in each one of them has this, if you look at like the purple pansy, right in the middle, you've got 2 yellow and 2 green stitches.
Yes.
That vibrancy of just those 2 stitches makes it pop and draws your eye to it.
Doesn't it?
And then you have the subtle shadings around it.
It's been beautifully designed. That is stunning.
Great, isn't it?
So I think you're going to find on this show something for everybody. You've got all sorts of different genres. So those are the pansies. Next up then, we're going to show you, here it is, here are the details coming onto the screen for the pansies. £29.99 again, 799151 is your item number. Next up then, we have got our beautiful kingfisher. Gosh, sorry, I'm just looking at the monitor so I can see, but that's
it's really
very
regal,
rich.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's rich, it's regal. It's beautiful, actually. Again, look, you've just got that bit of orange on his head and along the arch of his stomach. It's not a lot in comparison to the blue, but again, it brings it out.
Could you add, if you wanted to, a bit of metallic thread in?
You can do whatever you wish.
Good.
Yeah, you could add all sorts of stitches onto there. You can embellish with French knots, so where his eyes are, you might want to do French. You could bead on it. You can embellish to your heart's content.
Beautiful. Yes, add to it. Oh, now you like this one. We're approaching half the stock for the kingfisher. Again, this is £29.99. I should just say you do get absolutely everything that you need. 295,746 is your item number. The next one that we're looking at is the owl. Now, this one is really quite a funky owl.
We got it. They're alive.
We're having an avalanche here. Sorry. There we go. Oh, dear me. Here is the owl. There we go. We just had an absolute avalanche of all of the cushions on the show. Oh, now, so if you like something a bit quirky, he's the one.
It's quirky, but I like him as well because most of the kits are quite bright. This one's a more delicate, subtle colour. And I really look at her boots.
Wait.
Her boots.
Oh, cute.
She's got little pink boots. So lovely.
This is a really
She's
good
an
fun
owl
one.
with style.
She is, isn't she? And a lovely little polka dots on her tummy, and as we always say, owls never go out of trend.
They don't. They really don't. They're lovely. That's what I've asked for my Christmas present from my husband.
What?
There's an owl sanctuary not far from where we live.
Oh, yeah?
And you can go and spend a couple of hours with the owl. Oh, I just think that would be lovely.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I hope he's watching. Got to get that present. So for the owl cushion then, it's £29.99. 847008 is your item number. Then next up, we're going to have a look at the bumblebee. So this one, I have to say, it's a really nice one because of the theme. Because you know how we're saying we need to keep our bumblebees.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And this is just a lovely reminder. Again, the colours are sensational.
They are, and again, it's that dark raspberry in the middle. There isn't actually an awful lot of it, but it does draw your eye and it brings it all out.
That is beautiful.
Isn't it?
Just check out the design. Look all the way underneath.
But you can see it shine a little bit. Can you see that? Lovely shine and texture.
Yeah, with the yarn. That's beautiful. So, once more, this is £29.99 and your item number is 574720, and you do, like with everything, get everything that you need in the kit. So once more, here are the details for the bumblebee. Then the next one you're liking a lot, and it's the lighthouse. And speaking of the light, I very much like the way you've got the shading on this one.
Yeah.
That is really cleverly designed.
So just on the side of the building? Yeah, it's lovely.
It's beautiful. It's taking me down to Brighton right now. There you go.
Back home.
Back home down there.
And I just love the little birds. I mean, look how simple that is. It's a V shape.
Yep.
and you can create such an image with just a simple shape.
It's really pretty, isn't it? So
have you ever been in a lighthouse?
No, I'd like to.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Yeah.
They're not that they're particularly accessible.
Yeah, that's
They've always
true.
pinged me up to the top.
But that would be really nice. We've got lots around. I want to do that now you said that. So for your lighthouse cushion kit, here it is, $29.99. Your item number is 771912. Now, we did have some peacocks, but they have gone into your baskets. So please check out, because they have technically sold out. And the last one that we're going to look at is the lupins. Here we go. Again, another beautiful set of colours. These are definitely, you know, we were talking just before we came to air about colour analysis, not my previous life and all that. And again, I just love the colours in this one because, the technical bits, they're all from the same shade, density and big pigment base.
Exactly. See, exactly.
Well, most of them, the pinks and all of that they're really pretty, aren't they? So if you like colour, you're going to love... you could be there. It looks so realistic, doesn't it?
Lovely. Yummy, 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 yummy.
So this is $29.99. So that's all of them. Have a look at the website, then you can feast your eyes over everything else that we've got, all the lovely kits. Don't forget the actual cushion covers themselves. We've got those available as well. It's well worth putting those into your basket, and then you've got everything that you need. And it's very nice that you don't have to put your zip in. The zip's already in there for you. Now, this particular cushion back has got a Freedom discount. It's only $7.99, and that's delivered as well because your P&P is covered. So even if you make other cushions, I'd still pop these into your basket. Really good idea.
Oh, well, I think they're 100% cotton.
Yeah.
And because, you know, as much as I've been crafting for years, there are some things I'm just not brilliantly confident on.
Okay.
And I don't do much of. I've stopped using so much the sewing machine. And I've tried zips a few times and I'm like that. I just don't get it. So to be able to buy something that has it already in is, for me, it's genius. And it's already been prepped. But the trick is, don't forget when you're doing it to unzip. Because you're doing it wrong sides or right sides together, and you're pulling it through, or whatever sides together, and you're pulling it through. Yeah. And then you're doing the corners, so don't forget to unzip it.
Good top
So it's probably worth getting a couple of these if you're into cushion making.
Yeah. Have them in your crafty
And
stash.
you're a bit nervy like me and don't like to sew in zips.
There's also the insert as well, so there's absolutely everything. Whole cushion you can have there. So you swapped kits.
So I swap kits. Let me show you how I prep a kit.
That's wonderful.
Because I think it's all part of the process. If I could have this lot of thread.
Yes.
Okay, so when you get the kit, you get the canvas painted, you get your needle, you get your full instructions, and you get this joyous bundle. But you need to prep this bundle because otherwise it could end up into a mass of knots and then you're losing out on what you've got. So I went to a shop and I bought one of these things that had lots of these hoops on them where you can put ties in or ladies' scarves. Okay, so a couple of quid, and Sarah, my PA, took them all off for me. With a stitch.
You gave her that job.
Yeah, there you go. She took them all off for me. So now what I do to prep it, I will get all the colours. Oh, that's double long. Let's put that there a minute. Let's do some oranges. So I prep it, and in prepping it and getting it ready, I'm touching it, I'm feeling the texture of the product, I'm looking at the colours, I'm thinking about the person I'm making it for. Yeah. I actually enjoy this process as much as I enjoy. It's a whole process.
It is. I can see
really
the enjoyment.
Is a whole process.
You get into the zone with it. You know, it could be of an evening. Telly's on in the background.
Yeah. If it's an evening, winter time, make sure you've got a good craft lamp.
Okay. Yes.
Because not from these stitch kits, not from the holes point of view, but it's the colour matching.
Because some of, like you said, quite similar.
So they are quite similar. So I haven't got all the oranges, but imagine I had all the oranges. Yeah. So I put it in half like that. I've got electric static, look, chasing after me. And then I put it through the hoop that way. Yeah. Okay. And I pull it through. The reason being is I want that section at the front, because I can then very easily just grab one of those loops. Hang on. And pull one off.
Great stuff.
Okay. So, and if you look, that is so, in comparison to a bunch of yarn, it's just delicious, and that gets me thinking. And I even go as far as like light, medium, and dark in the different colours. And I'm stroking it, and I'm getting used to it, and I'm getting a feel for the quality of the. And then I sit there and think, that would make a great children's mobile, wouldn't it? And then what if I plaited it and added beads, and you're like, stop.
No, I was just thinking, I'll wear that.
Yeah, exactly. So spend some time with it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, get a feel for it, think of the person, look at the colours, get used to the texture, and then dive in.
Wonderful. I love that bit of advice. Yes. Have you got a favourite kit actually on the show?
I like them all. I like
choose.
them all. No, I can't. It's hard because it depends which room you want it for. It depends who you want it for. They're great for all. Hey, listen, I'm going to give you that. Look.
That's right. It's so tactile.
It really is, isn't it? And it's soft, really delicate and soft.
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
Lottie's telling me about from the earlier hour from Sandra, who was asking about washing them.
Okay, so there's 3 ways that you can wash them. You dry clean them. You can put them in a wool wash in the washing machine, or you can hand wash them. I'd be more inclined to hand wash it if you're physically able to.
Yeah.
If you can't and you want to use the washing machine, low setting, really good quality yarn. Either liquid or powder, it's fine.
Okay.
If you can do it by hand, clean your sink out, lukewarm water.
Yeah, no toothpaste left in there.
And I would then put 4 or 5 or 6 colour run sheets, you know, the washing colour run sheets, and I will put that in with it because you don't want the colours to bleed.
No, or fade or anything. Yeah.
And because it's yarn, you're not going to some people pre-wash their fabrics if they're making patchwork or clothing. So it's just a preventative measure.
Yeah.
And then when you take it and when you've given it a nice wash, get yourself a nice big towel and then roll it in. And then as if you're doing some baking and you're rolling out some bits and pieces, do that. And then if it gets too wet, the towel, just get yourself another and just keep rolling it. And you can squeeze it and you can roll it and then you can hang it up.
Okay, lovely.
If you're going to hang it, don't let it just hang like that. You want to hang it this way. And then you want to hang it that way, and then because if you let it hang in one direction for too, it will elongate that way and it will stretch out. Okay. Better to lay it flat if you can, but not everyone's got enough surface to have these all over the place.
Yeah, really good. I like that. We've had another question as well.
Yep.
From Caitlin. Half stitches. Are there any half stitches?
No half stitches. Yippee! Don't like half stitches. I'll do them. This is really just cross stitch.
Yeah, excellent.
But like you said, you can play. You know, it might be that where you've got those 2 yellows, you can do a cross stitch, and I might be inclined to do some French knots over the top again, just to texturise it.
My favourite thing. I love doing those. Okay, would you like to start again with something?
So let me show you. Well, there's a little bit on here, but I want to show you, if you've got nothing else to couch it into, how to do an away knot. So I'm going to grab myself some, I'm going to do this dark yellow round here, okay? So, load your needle.
As before. It's nice that they're not sharp, obviously, for the reasons that you said, but what sort of age could you start these from? So,
do you know what? I've met a 3-year-old, 4-year-old child who could do it better than a 7-year-old child.
That's interesting.
So it's dependent on the child's ability.
Yeah.
Don't leave them with them on their own and the needle on their own. Do supervise them, but in my opinion, the younger they start, the better. Yeah. Right, so we're going to do an away knot. So I'm going to tie, and this is because we haven't got anything to tie it into in the back. So, and we want a nice big knot on this because of the hole. You don't want it to fall through. So what I'm going to do, you go from the front to the back. So I want about that much to tie in at the back. So I'm going to start there. Okay.
The other nice thing, unlike the cross stitch with the pattern, you don't have to start from the middle because it's all there for you to start wherever you want.
Exactly. In fact, if I was doing this, and I'm not showing you guys, I'm right-handed, so I would always do this. I would start in the top left corner and work down that way. If you're left, you're going to go that way. The reason being, if you started at the bottom and worked up, you've done this already, okay, that's all nicely stitched, but every time you're moving up, your hand's crossing, okay, and you've got dirt and various bits on your hands, so you're constantly going over your worked piece. If you go downwards that way, you're not crossing it. so it's keeping it clean and sharp.
Lovely advice. We are approaching 40% of the stock gone on the pansies. There you go.
So we've got our away knot away a little bit, and we're just going to come up here and do our first cross stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to flip it over in a second because I'd like to show you what you then do. So, see all that?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to tie in after. So when you've done enough on there that you can then have, you've got stuff to tie it into, lift that ever so slightly, cut the knot off, and then you can sew it in.
That's
from the
really
back.
good. Nice. So
So there's lots of different ways of doing something,
Yeah.
which means just go for it. And I've learnt so much. Again, it was a stitch kit, so I'm coming back in 2 weeks, and we're going to be doing cross-stitch kits that uses stranded cotton. So
Okay.
stranded cotton is six strands in one, and normally you use 2 strands at the same time. And there was a little nifty thing in the instructions there, and I was like, oh, I've not heard, and I've been doing it for years, which
Yeah.
means you're always learning.
Well, that
there's
away knot, I
always
didn't know.
new ways of doing
Yeah.
something. So there's no wrong way of doing something, not really.
No, and I was on with Meg earlier on,
Okay.
doing the little 3D ones, and
Oh,
she
they're
was
lovely.
giving some great advice. And I went, same as you, I've been, because my aunt taught me to cross stitch.
Okay.
And but she had her own ways, so I've
Yeah.
stuck with her ways, and
Yeah.
it's just nice, like you said.
It's just building up
Yeah.
your capabilities and, you know, what's neat and what makes it easier for you. Do you want to go?
Go on then.
Go on,
but
then.
I've not done it like this, so show me how your technique is, because obviously I'm looking from the
so
side.
you've only got one there, so
Oh, have
just
I come up through the wrong one? Oh, no, that's right.
yeah, so
Okay.
just do that little bit of cross
So
stitch.
you go like that, is that right?
but only if you've got doing one next to it. So just do one individual cross stitch.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then move you down.
And then...
If I hold that up.
Bless you, crafting together. And then through that one?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
This is a funny angle to do it, and then back down there. Thanking you.
Okay. So let me just get you to the right point.
Okay.
So
Oh, I feel like we need a brew now. We're just
we do
sit here and have
nice
a chat.
cup of tea.
Yeah.
Can't beat a cup of tea. Here we go. So you can do in there like that, and then in there like that.
Yeah, because I've not done it that way. So in there like that, top one.
Yep. Top right to top left.
There, and I'm tying in underneath,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Oh, she says.
See, it gets caught.
It does.
So it does make it useful doing.
Okay.
Right, so put your needle in here and
Yeah.
come out there.
That one.
No, next one.
Next one. Oh, I've not done it like that. I just literally do cross, cross, cross. Yeah. Okay. Coolio.
And then into that one.
That one there.
Yeah. You see how much quicker you end up going?
You are right. You're so right. And then into there.
No, because you've not got any more to go into
okay.
now.
Yeah.
So take your needle down here,
That's it.
come down
Yeah.
and out. Okay, and then put the needle in there and go all the way along. You've got a whole stretch now you can do that with.
So there.
Yep. Okay.
To there.
No, you're going to
I'm
go there, darling, into
sorry.
that one.
I'm just not used to doing it this way. There we go. And in there.
That's it.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, we've got a little bit cool. Let's get that neat and there we go. There you are.
And then
Right, so you're going to go into there. You're going to go in that hole, come
Yeah.
out of this hole.
the next one. Oh, okay.
Right, and you're going to go into that hole and that hole.
Yeah. Right.
Make sense?
I'm on
and
your
then you're
roll
going to
now.
go in there and there.
There. Yeah.
So there and there. So the top is always one next to each other. The bottom is there's one in between.
Oh, sorry. Come unthreaded.
That's all right.
Right, let's see if I do your way.
Well, how would you thread it? Show me how you
Well,
do it.
I've not done these type of kits, you see.
Okay, so-
I've only ever done the stranded cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've always wanted to, though.
There you are. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You don't need me.
I
Tells
do
it now.
need
It's
you.
brilliant.
There we go. And then to that one. There we go. And then this one.
Yep.
Like that.
Now that's the looks like the. Oh no, you got one more to
Last
go.
one.
There you are. Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to hand back to you now. Bless you. Thank you.
Well done,
See,
that
that's
girl.
another way I've never done. Like I said, I'm normally just up and down and up
Yeah,
and down.
and that's great for the old bat wing.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's times when I feel a bit tired and aching
Yeah.
and doing that. So I just.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that.
So, yeah.
And it's actually, it is, you whiz along with it,
You
don't
do
you?
whiz along with it, yeah. You can only go that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let me see.
Yeah,
If
how do you do it then?
Let's try it. I'll undo it. So
I'm intrigued.
I'll undo it because there isn't that yellow below.
Yeah.
So if you were going to do it the other way, you would have to go up to that one.
Okay.
Go in there.
Will they still be the same way, direction?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you would go that way.
Okay.
But it's a bit more, it's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
I'm just going to undo those because that's not part of the...
It'll
oh,
annoy
no,
you.
it is. No, it is. It's fine.
Oh, that's all
yeah,
right.
that's good.
I'll tell you what, we're going to do another quick recap if that's...
Let's do it.
Be all right. So, as you can see here, we have got... Oh, actually, the ones that you're doing are the poppies. And as with all the kits, you get everything that you need, all the wonderful yarn. You're getting the full instructions. And obviously, you've got the printed pattern onto the fabric. And so, this is what it will look like when it's finished. And like you were saying, the colours are fantastic. The way that they've been designed has been really thought out so well.
It has.
Yes. And how long did you say you've been working with stitch kits for?
A couple of years now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful,
really
aren't
pretty.
they?
So,
and do the cream last. Always do your whites and your creams
Okay.
at the absolute end. Because that's the thing that will get the dirtiest the quickest.
yes. Oh, that's a very good point, actually. I like this. How much has gone? 40. 40% has gone of the pansy. The kingfisher will be coming up next. By the way, each of these kits is $29.99. There we go. So the kingfisher is exquisite. Half the stock has gone, and look how bold he is.
Beautiful.
Very regal, as you
It
said.
is very regal. It's beautiful.
Lovely, lovely colours. Very rich indeed. Again, this one is $29.99. I should just say that each one is under a different item number. So the kingfisher is $295,746. Next up, we've got the owl. You like this one, don't you? Very quirky.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So sweet. And I wouldn't have noticed, because obviously being in the stand, the little shoes that she's got on.
I'd be inclined to bead the eyes as well. I'd put some stuff on it. And,
Yeah, have
there's
him looking one way.
Yeah, but you could also backstitch around his beak to make that come out. So if you had a 9-stranded cotton colour, you could just do a backstitch all the way round it, just to make
That's
it...
a nice idea.
Yeah.
Make it
So there's
pop.
loads you can do.
Gorgeous. So here is, oh, she is, sorry, our lovely funky owl. $29.99. Your item number is 847008. Then the next one that we're going to have a look at is the bumblebee. And I just want to again mention that the yarn is so super soft. It's so tactile. Love the colours in this one.
It is. It's lovely. I love that deep raspberry colour.
That's beautiful. Look, isn't that stunning?
And it just shows when the designers really think about the colour and the structure of it, it is that it's down to those kinds of details where you have that raspberry in the middle and there's not a lot of it, but it just brings your eye to different parts of it. Love it.
Gorgeous. $29.99 once more for this kit. You get everything that you need, of course. Your item number is 720. Then next up we're going to have a little look at the lighthouse. So for anybody who loves being by the seaside or loves anything nautical, then this might be the one for you. Or you know somebody who loves this sort of thing. It's a great gift.
Yeah, and there's lots of people caravanning and campervanning now. These are great projects for that and great to decorate. And, if you have a couple, you can change it on the season. Love it.
And of course, these are so portable. So how I get down to Brighton, I train it.
Okay.
So,
oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
If I'm in the car, obviously I don't really drive anymore. If I'm in the car or on the train, I always have a craft project.
something, yeah.
Delish, because you've got like 2, 3, 4 hours where you can just get on with it.
I know. No excuse
Brilliant.
not to. So here is your lighthouse, $29.99 for this kit. Your item number is 771912. And then next up we have got the hummingbird. So this is the one we originally started with. The colours are so tropical.
Yeah, they really are, aren't they? They're beautiful. Again, only a little bit of red and
Yeah.
it just brings it alive.
So for this kit, once more, this is $29.99. Item number here is 022821. And I've just been told that just a couple of the peacock cushion kits have bounced back, but it is super limited. Oh, and now I can see why this one went first.
It's beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning. It's those rich colours again, all the blues and the greens.
It's decadent, isn't it?
Nice word.
It is a nice word. Don't ask me to spell it, but it's lovely.
So, just a few left. It's fastest fingers first, $29.99.
Like that?
Yeah,
fastest fingers first.
One of my sayings.
It's the FFFs.
So there you go. Few just remaining, and then I think we've got one more to show you, and this one is the Lupin cushion kit, which again has the most beautiful colours. Stunning. Here we are. $29.99, 055 779. Very busy for the backs. Again, you know, why wouldn't you pop this into your basket?
Yeah.
The zips in there for you. Did you say 100% cotton?
100% cotton. And all been finished off.
Yeah, so you don't have to do anything?
You really don't have to do anything. Or what you could do is personalise it if you wanted to.
It's got the wash instructions, so you can wash it at 30 degrees, or you can, yeah, that's it, 30 degrees.
Perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading the instructions, but that's nice to know. There's also the inserts on the show, and they're $9.99, so you can just get the full whack there and just have a play.
What should we play with next?
Oh, what's your fancy?
Let's do surprise, hang on.
Okay, just dip in.
Dip in. Oh no, we did that one earlier. We don't.
Have you done the owl?
Oh, let's do the owl.
Yeah.
Owl, here's the girl.
Okay.
Here's the girl. Now, what someone else has done on this is put all of these on there.
I would definitely
which
do
is
that.
really helpful.
So,
especially for shading.
Do stitch kits do not just this type of cross stitch? Do they do the wee ones as well?
They do the wee ones.
Yeah.
I'll be doing 14 count Ada stranded cotton stitch kits.
Lovely.
In a couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah. What date are you in?
14th.
Remember, 14th.
14th.
Oh, lovely. I think that's our shift side, actually.
Is it?
I
Wicked.
think.
That'll be you and me again, will it, girl?
Hopefully.
Right, I'm going to play with these rings. Look, I think I'm going to finish off some of these.
Yeah.
But look. Just look at...
I like how you organise them.
That.
Yeah, those purples.
Just looking at that, it's just like the saliva. It gets everything going, and I think, oh, look at the shades in that. That's absolutely beautiful. Love it. Right, so what have we got here? We've got some thread there. Wicked. So we can run it along here so that we can start on that section. Do you want to try? You want me to do it?
You go first, and then
okay.
So I'd probably do my. I'm more comfortable because I've done it for so long. Is the up and down, up and down,
up and down, up and down. Right. So again, what I'm doing is I'm running it along a little bit. Okay. Making sure I leave a bit of a tail, so I've got wiggle room for when the cushion gets plumped up and sorted. And I'm going back on myself to create that knot to prevent it from pulling out. Now just run your finger, you can feel it, but it's not too bulky.
No, not
because what you don't want is bulky, so that if it was a cushion and you were leaning on it, you'd end up feeling it in your back. You don't want that.
No.
So we are, so now look, we've got a bit of...
So you were saying masking tape,
masking tape. Try and get yourself low tack.
Definitely.
Masking tape.
I love watching you throw them over your shoulder.
Again, because... You know, you don't. It gets sticky. You're going to be using the sewing machine and putting something on it. So, but yeah, a bit of low tack masking tape. Here we go. You can put it on a rotating frame if you want to. You know, a bit of a rotating frame where you've got the wood. You've got the two pieces of wood, the shorter pieces that end, and the longer pieces, and then you can turn it. That gives you more evenness in your stitches.
I prefer using those than the hoops. When I'm doing my other cross stitch. You
couldn't use a hoop on this because this is quite thick, but you could use a rotating frame, no problem. Right, so I'm going to come in here. And again, it's really, this is your tapestry stitch. There you go, one.
Yep.
There's your cross stitch. Now, the trick is that you've got to sometimes think, okay, that bit there is actually pink.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go... just hold it this way.
So, out of interest, what other crafts do you do? You're into pretty much everything.
I've been playing around because I had the shop. Which was mostly patchwork and quilting. I had to concentrate on that. But my two really big crafting loves are hand embroidery. But all sorts of types of hand. So I've been learning cutting away on white work and beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I'm loving that, and crochet.
Yeah. Oh, crochet. That's something I've never done.
Oh, I love crochet, absolutely. But I've been trying all sorts of new things like PowerTex. You heard of PowerTex?
Yes.
It's so much fun. And my lovely friend Anita, who teaches me PowerTex, and we're going to work on some disability projects together to funk up disability equipment so that people feel, you know, so bit of PowerTex, a bit of all sorts, bits and pieces.
Yes.
I like to try also felting.
Oh, you're into that too?
I've loved needle felting. Sitting there, stabbing away.
Yes, get your frustration.
Lovely. So I've made little Father Christmases, and they're so easy. Couple of hours, hour and a half, and you can needle felt a really cute little.
Oh, that's adorable.
All this fluff.
It's a bit fibrous.
So yeah, I've been loving it. I've tried a bit of wet felting, but again, that was a bit too physical for me.
Right.
Yeah. But I did go and get, my husband got me, you know these little sanders where you're like sanding down the doorway?
Yes, yeah.
You get a sander with wet felting and just sit it on top.
Is that easier?
And it just does it all for you. Ah. So yeah, what about you?
Well, that's what I say. I only ever did cross stitch and yeah, Lottie knows what I'm like. I'm basically broke working here because I've got pretty much into everything. That's the thing.
So what would you say are your top two for at the moment?
At the moment, card crafting, and I've posted that on Facebook the other day. Actually, I really like making gift boxes. Okay. So because of Christmas coming up, I'm making everybody gift boxes. So I really like that.
I use for my crafter friends, for my patchwork crafter friends, I'll buy them a present and then I'll wrap their present in fabric.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
I
like I get a fat quarter or half a metre.
Yeah.
Wrap it all in there, so it's another gift. Brilliant.
So nice. See, this, we're kind of just come back to, look, it's so nice, we're just having a crafty chat. This is something that you can do with your girlfriends, or your boyfriends, of course, you get them into it as well. And, you know, you haven't lost your place, you haven't...
No, it's easy enough. Things. I want to show you now. I'm going to go from here to here.
Yeah.
So, the neat thing to do would be to sew those in. If you didn't, that would be over the top.
Yes.
Okay? And then... just for neatness, you can do that.
Nice.
And then you come out on the side.
I do like having a neat back. I feel proud about it, you know.
And you know, as a crafter, the amount of times you pick something up and go, that's lovely, and you just turn it to the back. We all do it, don't we? We all do it. So yeah, it's good to be neat, if you can.
So we were saying earlier that with these kits, because they've got the nice large size of the holes, they're absolutely fine for even complete beginners.
I tell you, an absolute crafting beginner could knock this up. They'd need help with then turning it into a cushion or framing it or turning it into a bag. But, you know, you can go on YouTube, you can watch the how-to videos, start it off, you know, or tie it in. But really, all you're doing is going like that.
That's it.
That's it. It's a simple. Imagine being a new crafter and you knock one of these up and it's your first project.
Yeah, you'd
be so chuffed with it. So you'd be really mighty fine chuffed, wouldn't you? So yeah, I think that's great. And I haven't taken as many photos of my projects over the years, and you give them away. And the occasional ones I have taken photos of, after like 4, 5, 6, 10 years, you think you can see how you progress and how things change, and you know, new techniques that you learn. Yeah. Brilliant.
So what would you do with yours? Do you like turning them into cushions, or do you like them on bags? Or?
It depends who it's for, depends what room it's for. There's only so much wall space I've got left in my house now. You know, you just think, gosh, I have my own bathroom at home, and the walls are covered. It's only a dinky bathroom, but the walls are covered in framed stuff that I've hand embroidered myself. So I thought, because otherwise it goes in a cupboard and you think, no, it's got to go on display. So yeah. Nice. Yeah, it depends.
That's like, you know, and I was saying with my aunt who taught me to cross-stitch, her house is wall-to-wall cross-stitch. Like, she's done it all her life. Okay. And it's just amazing. And she likes all the fantasy types of cross-stitch.
And there's some beauties out there, aren't there?
Yeah.
But they take just years.
I know.
They're just
patient.
so tiny, aren't they?
All right, so most popular this hour, I better do my job really with stabbing and natter, which is lovely, but I'll get into trouble. Right, so this is your most popular this hour. This is the Kingfisher, going back to those beautiful, rich, deep blue colours. They're absolutely stunning. 60% of the stock has gone, so this is probably going to be the next to go. 295746 is your item number. Do you know, I don't know where this hour's gone. We've only got about 8 minutes.
Do you know what? I often wonder that.
Yeah.
How are you going to fill an hour talking? You just do, don't you? Because there's so many tips and tricks and, you know, answering questions. And, and I get to sit and craft and spend time with you. How great can it be?
Bless you.
It's been lovely working with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got next time.
Yep.
There'll be different ones.
Completely different range, really pretty, but using stranded cotton.
Yeah.
And 14 count Ada.
Brilliant.
So it's a completely different style.
So just in case that anybody's tuning in and has missed the start of the show, could you just go through the basics again?
Oh, I absolutely can.
Your recommendations.
Okay, so this is, I think that goes with that project.
Yeah, it does.
So what this is, when it comes to embroidery and cross stitch or any type of embroidery, the background fabric that you're working on, traditionally a lot of the time is called an Ada, but you can go into Osnaburg and all sorts of other things and that. So if you get a measuring tape and you count how many holes there are over an inch, across an inch, that will tell you. So you'll get kits and it will say 14 count Ada or 18 count Ada.
Right.
Means there's 18 holes within an inch. The higher the number, the more dense it is, the tinier the hole is. It's the other way round. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I know.
The smaller the number, hence this one, 4.5 holes per inch, means you can knock it up really quickly. Also, if you've got dexterity issues or you're struggling with the eyesight a little bit, this would be easier, especially if you use the magnifier and a good quality craft lamp.
We've got lots of those on the website,
And it's well worth, especially this time of year, because it might think you've got the right colours, so you might use your craft lamp not necessarily for the magnifying of this project, but getting the right colours if you're working of an evening.
That's right, and because the lamps that they do, they make sure you can see the exact colour.
Yeah, so they work from what they call a white light.
Yeah.
And that gives you true colour basis, because you can look at something not under a white light and you think it's a completely different. It's really strange how colour in your eyes don't. You know. So this is really good for complete beginners.
Brilliant.
Great for children. And if you're someone who's been cross-stitching and embroidering for years, they're just great to have a couple in your stash when you forget presents, because you can knock it up really quickly.
Yep.
Again, because if you think it's stranded cotton, you're using 2 tiny, really thin threads.
Yeah.
So the amount it takes to cover what one of those would do, you know what I mean, that would take considerably longer. So you can knock this up a lot quicker.
That's
So
good.
it's well worth having them.
Lovely, and I also like the way that you will put your little pieces of
Yeah, you can
your
put some
strands
there.
down there.
It helps if you're having shades that are similar, just to make sure you get it right. Get yourself low tack masking tape.
Right.
Go round all the corners and edges, because it's beginning to fray, and what happens is that starts to eat into your working frame. Now, if you're going to turn this into a cushion, at the edge, you need another inch.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't want that to fray too much, because that's going into your working area. So good to cover it. And also, if you're doing the backing and fronting and you're using the thread, it gets caught on that.
Right.
I can tangle it up. Another very useful thing to do is, as you're cross-stitching, you're crossing it all the time, which means the thread is doing that.
Winds.
Okay, and it winds and it winds and it winds and it winds. So every now and again, let it go, hold the project up and let the yarn unravel, because it will sit more neatly. If it's really wound as you're putting it in and out, it doesn't quite sit quite so neatly and flatly.
Yeah.
So just kind of let it unwind a little bit and go for it.
How do you actually sew? Because I've not done anything like this to sew onto a cushion.
Okay.
How do you sew it on the reverse?
I said, now I haven't sewn one of these on yet.
Okay.
So, and I always have to think out loud when I'm doing this.
That's all right. Don't
So, no, not at all. Let's think. It's like when you do patchwork quilting, you've got to talk it out loud. So what would you do? Would you do that? Is it wrong size together or is it right size together? Let me think. My brain's gone dead.
Don't worry if not.
No, it's the other way. So you do right sides together, okay?
Yep.
Then you would sew an inch in all the way round, okay? And then you pull it out so you got it the right way round.
And your top tip was make sure
that's open. Yeah. Also, what's quite useful is when you've done that, when you've sewn, so you're doing an inch in, right? So, excuse my dodgy finger, there is your line.
Right.
Chop that bit off.
Oh.
Chop that a bit off.
So you've not got the bulk.
So you don't have the bulk. So when you turn it through, you can get nice, sharp edges.
Because these are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that have been done.
Yeah.
So again, you can see this is the most popular that we've got on the show. And the Kingfisher's just coming onto the screen. It's really pretty. It's $29.99. And you're looking at 60% of the stock gone. 295,746. Okay, so the peacock, just to confirm, has now sold out. So they bounced back, but they've gone now.
I'm not surprised.
I know,
It was such
beautiful.
a deep, decadent colour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh. And then can we have one last mention of how you like to, sort them?
So this is a whole process for me because I love the sorting as much as I love the actual project doing.
I just want to feel it.
Yeah, you do, don't you? And that's the point. So it comes in a big chunk like this, but you could get quite tied up, and you don't want to waste it because it gets knotted, etc. So I would just sit there and familiarise myself with it, and I will, for example, there's more orange, but I would get them all, and I would go in half, okay, and I'd put it through my hoop, pull it through, and I want to do it that way because what I want is this bit, that bit there, out the front. Because every time I need a piece now, all I need to do is just pull one of them, and then they come off. Stops it from knotting, and then you can start. And I often go so far as I'll do like light, medium, and dark, etc., and in the nice shades all together, because that just gets my creative juices flowing. And I think, oh, just that's beautiful, and I could do this, and I could do that. So yeah, it's all in the prep work.
And I also
spend time taking care of it.
Yeah, because it's and well, speaking of taking care, I like the fact that you gave us advice. Make sure you do your lightest colours last, because that hadn't occurred to me about because if you're going to be spending a lot of time on it, and you might get things on it.
Well, you don't always think to wash your hands, and actually the dye can come off of there, and or the dye can come off. Not necessarily this project, but if you're working on various different things, the dyes can't. You don't think to wash your hands every 5 minutes. So, yeah, and be practical. If you're doing something like this, start in top. If you're right-handed, top left. Otherwise, left-handed, top right, and work that way, because then you're not constantly crossing this over the work if you go from bottom to top and causing not just dirt, but you know how jumpers get bobbly after
a bit pilled.
A bit pilled, that's the one. You could end up doing that if you're constantly so it's common sense.
Lovely bits of advice, thank you,
You're
Julie.
welcome.
I've had a fabulous hour.
Good.
So as we said, we will see you on the 14th with different kits.
Different kits, by stitch kits, but it'll be 14 count Adas with stranded cotton.
Lovely. Please do have a look on the website for all of these wonderful kits. They're great for beginners. You've seen we've had some lovely fun doing this. You've got the pansies are still available, our Kingfisher, although that one will probably go after the end of the hour. Here it is. Here's the website. We've got the pansies, we've got the owl. What else is the bee? I've already said the pansies, lighthouse, yes, the lupin. So they're all on there for you, and you'll really, really enjoy them. So do give us a call, 01733 60 2000. Have a look on the website, and then once you've made these, we want you to post your pictures on Facebook, because I love seeing what people have been doing. Most
definitely, love it.
And maybe any extra embellishments that you've added to them. So they're very, very enjoyable to do. We'll see you in it's only a couple of weeks. It's 10 days.
Yeah.
Right then.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Julie. All right, we've got more coming up after this short break. Thank you for watching, but make sure you're staying tuned.
Hi, I'm Dali from Dali Art, and I've been crafting for over 10 years, and I've actually just recently turned my passion of crafting into my business. I started off actually with doing canvases for mixed media, lots of interior design, and I've actually grown that passion and gone into mainstream in terms of stencils, dies and stamps. My collection is mixed media, East meets West, and a lot of this comes from my heritage, and I've also just collaborated with Pentart, and this gives me the products I need to enhance my stamps, stencils and die designs. Please join me for my shows here on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Bev, I'm from Be Crafty. We have been going for about 14 years, and 4 years ago we started designing and making our very own stamps just for you. All of our stamps are designed and made here at Be Crafty by my own fair hands, and we love using them for lots of different crafty projects. I love playing with our stamps and templates and getting as inky as I can, whether it's spraying or blending ink or stamping ink, paints, everything. We absolutely love it, and that's what we want to show you when we come to Hochanda, because we get to demo as much as we like, which is fantastic, so I can show you all the techniques that I'm learning too. So make sure you don't miss the Be Crafty shows on Hochanda.
In the studio, it's 4 p.m. this afternoon, live with Chocolate Baroque, and you're looking at just some of the imagery from some of the brand new stamps we have for you today. An underwater theme, a seaside theme, a magical, fantastical theme with our Mermaid Queen. I didn't realise all that was going to rhyme, but the Mermaid Queen, the beautiful underwater set that I hope you've already found, seaside dreams and seashore scenes all throughout the show, earrings, jewellery, necklaces, tags, big 8x8 cards, smaller ATC style projects. You can do it all with the stamp sets on today's show with Leslie from Chocolate Baroque and also Judith. Really nice to see you both. And Judith, our special guest as well. Sorry, Leslie, but I'm going to turn my back on you now. No, I'm not there. But introducing Judith, of course, our special guest.
Yes.
So please do the honours and introduce Judith for us.
This is, well, a lot of people will know Judith, or at least will have seen Judith's name. She's the head of our design team. And she is going to be doing some demonstrations for you today, and we just thought this would be a nice time to introduce her onto screen.
So, Judith, what have you chosen to do on your first ever live show with us today, then? What should we look forward to?
I'm actually going to be doing some watercolouring with just 3 different colours. I'm going to be showing you how to mix and match your colours to create a pretty watercoloured postcard and to create a background to match.
Looking forward to it. Lovely stuff. So you've obviously seen your artwork on previous shows with Leslie, being the head of the design team. What a good job you do too as well. They're an unruly bunch. No, they're not. They're so talented. So many hours of work represented here, work and play. Judith, we'll let you get ready for your first demonstration. We'll look forward to it. See you in a bit. All right. OK, bye-bye now. You can get out that way, can't you? Yeah. Don't want to get her blocked in at all. So, first of all, Leslie, back in stock, and you've made it your first demonstration with the soft form relief.
Yes.
Because it went too quickly last time.
Well, actually, this is a different one to last time. This
Okay.
is new today. The one we had last time was gold. This is silver.
Yeah, and you can get clear and all sorts.
You
and
can get
black
all sorts of
and,
things which we'll continue to bring to you over the course of the next few months.
Okay.
This soft relief paste is fabulous, and we also have a wonderful stamp to go with it.
Yes.
Which is called Ammonite.
Yes,
and this is actually a brand new stamp on today, done specially to work with this paste, and comes already mounted.
Yes, it's mounted on the mount, and
Yeah,
also
cling
then
foam.
you've got your cling foam mount.
There we go.
It's grey rubber on there, and all ready to go with the soft form relief. You will show us how this works.
Yes, I'm going to show you how this works on the stamp very short. First, my first demo is going to be this. I didn't get a chance to show the gold when we had it on in October.
It's all down 20 minutes.
It did.
But there it would be with the gold. Sorry for just photobombing you there. And
Yeah,
bringing
no,
that in.
that's fine.
But that's what it looks like with the gold. And moving away in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's a soft form relief over a quarter. Hands off, seriously, over a quarter of the stock already
please let
gone.
me do the demo. Please let me do the demo this time.
We better move away from that quickly before it completely sells out. Right, okay, so
I will
we've got
do it, I promise.
a good number of units on that. I'm not even going to remind you the item number on it. No, you can find it on the website and on the phone. The Mermaid Queen, she's
she
just
is absolute
glorious.
superstar, isn't she? I
Yeah.
mean, she's a huge, huge stamp. If you want to pick up the rubber mats.
Well, yeah, luckily I don't kind of need to straight away because you've got the tag there, but you can see the size of her on the tag.
She is absolutely, look at that. She is huge.
Palm of hand.
She is an amazing, amazing stamp. And the detail.
High five on this set, Leslie.
I mean, Sue literally has gone to town with the designing this. Remember, they're all hand-drawn.
Yes, when Sue draws these, she
Yeah.
drew the Mermaid Queen presumably bigger and
Yes,
she's then shrunk down.
yes. So you can imagine how much work and hours went into the artwork here. It's just amazing.
All this underwater foliage here. There's the silhouette mermaid, which you might miss.
You like the silhouette, don't you?
I do. Let's show this
Yes.
canvas, because you won't spot the silhouette straight away here, but let's focus on the Mermaid Queen herself. Easy to cut round the edge, because you needn't get fiddly.
No.
Yeah, what design. And all of these shells are in different sets too.
Yeah, they're in some of these sets, and they're also in the underwater and further down. And look at that. There she is again, and there you can see the silhouettes.
There we are, the actual silhouettes, first generation and then second and third.
So that's all her sisters.
Yes, I love the depth as well with the second and the third generation stamping.
Yeah.
We didn't quite see the silhouette on this board. Did you see it on the canvas?
Yeah.
It is? Just
Right
there.
down the back.
Just
I mean,
there. Brilliant. 10% of this stock already gone on this set. My word.
Yeah.
On the Mermaid Queen. Look at the size of this design too. Yeah. I'm sure there was one really...
One more before we move on. This one here, which as you can see, is actually one shell and one of the actual fronds, and it's created all of that.
Okay, and the fronds are just on here on the bottom right hand. Oh no, on the top left.
Yeah, and there's the shell, and that has created all of that. So it just shows you how you can...
Those two stamps making such a beautiful card, and some smaller cards in there as well. You don't need to make big 8x8s or anything. You've got a lot of variety. We'll see them later on, but grab that really early on. Don't let it go. 615-332 to order now, and it's all 7 images on there, saving £2, making it $14.99. And then the underwater set here.
Again, another huge stamp.
Yeah.
The seahorse in this is amazing. Okay, because the seahorse is actually made up of the patterns of the shells that are on this stamp and the previous one.
So clever.
You haven't
Can you see that? You can't see on the grey rubber, but we'll choose a really good card. There's the black and white one you showed
There
me
you can,
before.
that'll tell
go.
you, look.
Look at this. So the seashells building up
Actually
seahorse.
make the seahorse itself.
The elements of it.
Yeah.
What a card. We need this set in our life now. Do you want to show that one with the embossing powder?
Yes,
actually?
that's
Sorry,
beautiful.
Leslie, but I love that one.
Yeah.
I thought this was gilding flakes when I first saw it, but it's actually a mixture of embossing powders. So it just shows you how well the seahorse stamps in black and white, and also how well it embosses.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the seahorse, because you get all of this extra foliage.
And the shells
starfish.
and everything. Yeah.
And then this big shell here. There are keys on the photo. The best way to order is on the website at the moment. I'll let you know if it dies down at all. But just to show you the size of the images compared to the packaging there, it is $14.99 plus delivery. 141256 to order now. Have a look at the web. It's Hochanda.com, home of crafts, hobbies and arts. On there, Hochanda.com, because we've got the wonderful craft card pack with your card stock, and also the soft relief. I must mention that it's in silver today, available with £3 off at £12.99. It's got the freedom price on it as well. Over half the stock already gone, so we will zip in. We'll tell you, you can look at the other sets of stamps if you want on the web, but you better be quick here, Leslie.
Okay, right, I'll go as quick as I can.
If you're thinking about buying the soft relief, this is why. So.
I've trimmed the excess round of my stamp, which you can do when you get it home. It's already mounted on the cling, but you just need to, and it's very easy, just cut all the way around. It's okay. Right, this is literally like very thick clotted cream. Okay, so it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Right, palette knife and splash it on your stamp. You don't need to protect your stamp in any way whatsoever. And what you're doing now is, remember, think about buttering toast. So you are going to spread it over the stamp. Now, you don't want it too thick, but on the same score, if you can see part of the image coming through, then it's too thin.
Okay, good tip.
So, again, it's... If you're icing a cake, remember how you sort of kind of ice a cake to try and get it nice and even. And this is the same way as doing...
So cover the image.
Cover the image. It's nice and smooth. Okay, I have got one I've done earlier.
Because you'd leave this overnight normally?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not an instant. So for those of us that like instant, this isn't it. But I'll tell you what, it's well worth it. And that is what you do. And you leave it like that. You can actually pick that up, Max, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, let's see that. So as you can see, we've left no part of the grey rubber stamp showing. If there was a little bit in the middle where you could still see the design, or if it was a bit lower. But what we've done there is we've iced the cake, as it were, made it smooth, covering the entire stamp. So you'd leave that to now dry overnight. Yeah,
overnight, yes. I mean, Judith puts hers in the airing cupboard. What you need to do is to put it somewhere where you can't keep going, is it done yet? Is it done yet?
Yeah.
Or where a cat can walk across it. My dog used to stick her nose in it.
Oh, no.
So it is open to all sorts of things.
OK, so it's got limited stock already, so if you're waiting for the demonstration to get it, I wouldn't wait.
That's it when it's drying.
OK.
This is it when it's dry, OK? Yes. So it's now on here. OK, right. So you see what's happened there? When it's dry, it goes into all of the little crevices of the stamp.
Yeah, so now you can see the detail of the stamp. So if you were spreading it on and you were seeing bits like that, you'd still put more and more on, but it's because it's dry that it's got the... Yeah, OK.
And then, if you've got it on a cling or whatever, you just need to start easing the corner of it off. OK, so there we go. So once you release it, can you just see that? Because the stamp's flexible.
Yeah.
OK, and just take it around the edge. If it's not dry, it won't peel off.
OK.
It'll sort of stick, so it's going to have that gooey feel underneath. Just put it back and just leave it.
Leave it to go. OK, so you can't make a mistake. Now, when you're peeling it off, are you gently teasing it off? Are you pulling the rubber more than the actual soft
I'm sort of doing between the two.
OK.
OK, because the rubber's very flexible.
Yeah.
So it'll allow you to do this. OK.
Soft relief. Hopefully you didn't wait for the demonstration to buy it. Hopefully you've got yours, because yeah, it's limited stock at the minute.
My goodness.
This soft relief.
I'm going as fast as I can, but I don't want to race
Don't worry. Don't you worry, Leslie. It's just anyone that was hoping to see the demonstration and then buy.
We'll bring back again, I promise.
I can't keep up, I know.
There we go. So there, look, there.
That's marvellous with the ammonite. Now it is in the bundle, of course.
All I have done is just trimmed round the edge, OK, just to take off. You see where the excess, where I've painted over the edge here?
Yes.
Then you just trim it off. It trims now then. The point with that is it's very flexible.
Yes, it is very bendy. Let's give it a bend here. I can show that. So it's curvable, bendable. Stitch them through it.
You can stitch through this, yes. You can glue it onto cards. You can stitch it onto fabric. The only thing I can say is you can't wash it through the machine. OK. OK, so if you're going to put it on cushions, anything like that, use it for home decor, anything that's not going to require water, otherwise it...
Well, in record time, it took 20 minutes before, but it's 11 minutes now. If only our sprinting was that quick, Leslie. We could be at the next Olympics. A technical sellout means all the stock is allocated at the moment, so hopefully you can check it out as soon as possible. You can get that for a phenomenal freedom price. So you can see our generosity. Despite something selling out previously, we're not going to suddenly increase prices or anything. You've still got that for £3 off, plus the freedom saving, and you get the ammonite as well as the soft relief.
I want to show you that you can actually still stamp, but this doesn't hurt our rubber stamps.
OK, our stamps are still ready to use.
I don't know whether or not I can do that or whether it's been sold out. Right.
Okay, well,
Okay,
our stamps are
sorry.
still ready to use despite using the soft relief on them. You've got the Mermaid Queen, which is 7 images together. We saw that earlier. It's 615332 is your item number on that. And then your lovely underwater stamp as well. We can show you that now too. Also, brand new today, very excitingly, 7 images for $14.99 plus delivery. Again, it's 141256. So, we've got Seaside Dreams, but it's first of all Seashore Scenes.
Yes.
I've been drumming that into my head before the show there, Leslie, so I had to make the most of that moment. So Seashore Scenes here.
Yes.
It's a lovely picture.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, this to me is just, you know, all of those things that you imagine from a summer evening.
Yeah.
But also, it could equally be, to change the colours, and you could equally make it a winter bay. Yeah. I don't know if anybody saw, there's been a documentary on actually quite recently called The Harbour.
Okay.
And it's all about Tenby and one of the most photographed harbours in Wales. And this just reminds me of that kind of tranquil harbour that you could just go and sit and look at that scene. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. What I do hope to show you during the course of possibly, if not this hour, definitely, certainly in hour 2, because I think we're together again at 7 o'clock.
We're on at 7
I'm going to show you how all of those separate stamps, you can actually create separate stamps and make your own scene.
An entire scene as well.
All you're going to need is the stamps, an ink pad and a microfine fine liner pen.
I'm not at work, I'm dreaming, Leslie, because watching you build a scene from 1 or 2 sets of stamps, but you're going to do it from 1 set of stamps today.
Yes.
That's brilliant. We can't wait. Let's see a few examples then for this
Look at
set.
this. I mean, this one. Look at this. I love just the fact there's a bit of colour. This is Veronica. And I like the fact that this is all greys, just with that lemon sunset going down.
It's just like one of those photo cells that has had a touch of colour added afterwards, isn't it? With a paintbrush there as well.
Yeah.
What others can we choose here?
Right, look at this one. This again. Just see how they mix together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the mermaids. You've got the mermaid silhouette here, the lovely seahorse underwater.
And then this one by Carol, which I think is stunning. Look at that. She's used a stencil with a rope, okay, and just put that in the frame.
Oh, doesn't that work?
I mean, if you've travelled or you like doing things to do with scrapbooking with seasides and things like that and holidays, these make fabulous stamps as accents for your holidays, for a travel guide. Yeah. But also, these, I think, are great stamps for the guys in our lives that we have difficulty doing cards for.
Yeah, I apologise for that. Yeah,
no apologies made.
Yeah. But it's true, but I'd love to receive a card like this.
But these make wonderful, wonderful cards for all sorts of things.
Yeah, cards and home decor and picture frames and scrapbooks and all sorts. Look at this on the black card. Look at the colours there on the... Oh, dreaming of the beach,
I mean, what I
just?
like to say is, can I just go back to it?
Please
Look at the 2. This is why you have stamps.
Yes, you say
Okay,
art.
I told you before, you've got art in your hand when you've got a stamp in your hand. And there you have the same stamp used with 2 entirely separate cards by 2 entirely different Veronica and Brenda, and just a change of colours, it completely brings the mood and everything.
Isn't it funny that, because I was so busy looking at that black and white scene with that golden sunset or sunrise, I didn't even notice the ammonite on the frame before.
Which is in the back of it.
Using the ammonite there, if you've got hold of the ammonite, it's great for your backgrounds and backdrops. This is a wonderful, wonderful set here. Details on the screen for it. It's your Seashore Scenes, 11 images there for $14.99 plus delivery, and it's a big, big set. You can see there your packaging. I'll just drop the grey rubber next to it just to block out the artwork, but it deliberately to show you the images are, you know, the actual size of them compared to the actual packaging. 572382. So that's the Seashore Scenes, but Seaside Dreams now. So the scenes are more of a elongated, you know, you're looking in at the big grand scene. Yeah. This is more focused on the feet up by the beach hut now with a couple of lovely underwater images.
I love beach huts. One of my favourite places, which is a place called Blythe, which is up on the northeast coast, away up from where we actually live. And my husband and I often go there. It's a really great place to just, you know, let the wind blow through your hair. And they have beach huts. They're very few and far between to see nowadays. And I love to sit and draw beach huts, and Sue did these, I think, absolutely amazing. And you can have one, you can have a set, you can do them very vintage, you can do them very, very postcardy, very retro, you know, 50s, that type of thing.
Just dress them up a bit.
And then you've got those wonderful conch shells, etc. on the bottom, and that wonderful scene on the top. Look at that with all of the fronds and all of the...
I stamp that as a repeating stamp and just make a lovely,
and then you've got
lovely
some lovely
backdrop.
words, dreaming of the beach. And I think by the sea, all worries wash away.
Take me to the ocean. About that, what a lovely saying that. By the sea, all worries wash away.
Yeah.
Do you know, yeah, we've had some lovely seaside holidays. I'm sure you've got your own stories as well for getting by the sea in the last 10 years, you know, just winding down that week off.
How about that's your beach huts at midnight. This is Veronica.
Is that
look
clear
at these
embossing
two.
powder on,
Yes,
gold, on black
is,
card?
It is.
Yeah.
Look at these two. I think these are stunning.
Let's have a look at them side by side.
Look at that. How different are those?
Isn't that lovely? Sorry, in my delay, I didn't get a chance to tell you 10% had gone. Then I didn't get a chance to tell you 15% had gone. And now over 15% has gone of this set. And we've barely even looked at it. So good work if you've already got it. But there's that phrase, by the sea, all worries wash away. Is that lovely? Let's have a look at this card you're holding there.
Sorry, I've got
the colours.
This is by Anne, and this is done on pattern paper. Now, this is actually Crafty Individuals, seaside papers, so if you've bought those from them in the past, this has got on all the bottom, look, so it's got, at the bottom, it's got Oh to Be Beside the Seaside, and then it's actually got a pier in it. And Anne has coloured these, and I just think that that is just a great combination of pattern paper, stamps and colouring.
Can I be, with mentioning colour, can I be really naughty?
You're not, you
and just
are
show,
naughty.
I know, with the beach huts and the shells, it's just this example shows the underwater foliage, let's call it, and the seashells and the beach huts. But just talking of colouring, look at that one, and then look at this other as well. So under the sea, there is majestic colour that we sometimes don't even see, you know. We have to watch that popular documentary at the moment, and you can see
Blue Planet.
the Blue Planet too.
We forget how beautiful under the sea is.
Yeah, of course we do. But look at the colours of the beach huts there too. So yeah, I mean, lots and lots of imagery here from the design team. Can you see what we mean? Designs, hours of just enjoyment and artwork here from the design team. You'll be loving these. $14.99 plus delivery gets you this set, and it's the Seaside Dreams set you're looking for. 957296. And then the card pack as well. We're going to sit back and see Judith in a minute for her demonstration. Judith, head of the design team, looking after everybody who's made all of these.
Including me.
Including you, Leslie.
Yes.
The drawing cartridge and the craft card. Now, I've already got a craft card in my craft room at home, Leslie, so tell me what I should be doing here.
Well, this is something different. This is very smooth.
Right.
And it's got a core all the way through. Some craft card hasn't. This has got a card, and also it is so strong. Yeah. So you can stamp this, you can stamp colour on it, you can actually use coloured pencils, you can use chalks on it, you can use paint, ink, whatever you like. The other thing about it is it embosses beautifully, so if you die cuts fabulously because of the quality of it.
All the way through.
And it tears fantastically as well. So it is and it makes a good staple for matting and layering, or for making your card.
Yeah, we've seen it in a couple
of cards. Our drawing cartridge is in it. So this is a new combination.
Yeah.
So we've put the drawing cartridge in as well, which everybody loves.
Yeah, this sells out regularly.
20 sheets of drawing cartridge and 25 sheets of craft card, and both of these are really 24 pence a sheet, I've just been told. Thank you, Megan.
Silly,
that's my lovely
24
producer.
a sheet. I know Meg's our producer. She's doing the quick maths next door. Really, really quickly, Leslie, why the drawing cartridge? Why does it sell out so quickly?
Why that sells out is because if you like watercolour card, but you don't like to have texture in your stamping, this has got all the properties of watercolour card, but it's smooth.
Smooth at the same time. And the craft card's got a smoothness to it as well.
I
so
mean,
they're both
everybody
lovely.
raves about this. They love it, and I do too. So, you know, I don't bring anything on that I wouldn't recommend or use myself.
That's nice to know. Good testimonial, that. We sell out regularly on the drawing cartridge as well. So you've got this in a bundle. I've not seen the bundle like this before either. So 25 sheets of the craft card, 20 sheets of the white drawing cartridge.
And this is one of our limited editions.
Good
so
stuff.
it won't come back in this configuration again. So if you want this configuration, you have to get it today.
Grab it today.
Sorry, but you do.
$10.99. No, don't apologise, Leslie. We'd like to be told what to do
you know,
when.
I like to
because
bring little limited editions and extras.
We need to know. We know not to miss out. So 141880. If you were thinking, I'll pop in next week and get that. No, just grab it now while stock's here. Everything's on the website as well, so have a look at hochanda.com. We'll say bye to Leslie for now. Thank you so much, Leslie. We're going to go say hello to Judith, the head of the design team that brings you all of these lovely, lovely pieces of artwork. Can't wait to see what Judith's got for us. We've already had one sellout. We're very busy across the stamps, but we've already seen our soft relief go. That's the silver soft relief with the ammonite stamp. And the soft relief sold out in 20 minutes last time, 11 minutes this time. I know. We could have another sellout, who knows? Stay tuned. But, Judith, hello, and I cannot wait, and I'm sure everybody at home cannot wait to see what you're going to be doing.
Right. So this is the card that we're going to be making today.
Right.
And all I'm going to use is 3 different colours of distress ink, and you can see that I've got lots of different colours in the shells here, and all I've done is mixed and matched 3 different colours to create all of these different colours on the shells. I've used Seaside Dreams here to create this watercolour postcard, but then I've mixed and matched some of the images from Underwater and Mermaid Queen to create the background. I really like to mix and match my stamp sets, and Chocolate Baroque stamp sets are really designed to mix and match well together, and this is what I've done on this card.
Yeah, you can choose your favourite, but if you are getting 2 or 3, you know that they'll really melt in together. And you can, sure. Okay, so where are we going to start?
Okay, so I'm starting with a piece of cartridge card, and I'm going to use some of the distress ink, and I'm just going to put a little bit on to my glass mat. Doesn't matter whether you use a craft mat or a glass mat, either or is fine. And I'm just going to wet the card first of all, just to make it a little bit more.
Now, Judith, when you first got into crafting, you didn't sign up to be on live TV one day, did you? So we apologise for that in advance.
It wasn't what I expected to be doing.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing what you're going to be up to. Then, what was it that got you into crafting in the first place?
I crafted with my mum when I was a child. I tried all sorts of different crafts, knitting, sewing, all sorts of things. And some things I really liked, some things I dropped along the way. But Mum and I crafted right from when I was tiny.
Oh, that's lovely.
And really enjoyed crafting, and Mum and I still craft together.
Oh, beautiful.
When we see each other. Mum lives up near Leslie, and that's how I first discovered Chocolate Baroque.
Oh, brilliant.
And I've known Leslie for a long time. I've been on the design team for a lot of years, and really enjoy crafting with Leslie when I get the chance.
It's a fun,
when
work permits and everything. But it's a good company to be involved with, isn't it? Because the designs on the stamps, I mean, we've got lovely suppliers everywhere, all different directions. But every time I see Leslie and yourself, Judith, because you've popped in with Leslie these last few times.
That's right,
The designs on the sets just,
I loved the images before I was on the design team. I was quite a good customer of Chocolate Baroque before I was on the design team.
Guilty as charged.
And even as a design team member, I still love to get packages of stamps through the post, and working with them is always a treat for me. So there you go. I've just covered the background with the distress ink to create just a solid colour, and I'm just going to put that to one side to dry a little while.
And you're on the drawing cartridge, aren't you? So
That's
it's
right.
taken the water really well, so it's like watercolour carpet, it's nice and smooth. Details on the screen for your drawing cartridge with craft card.
And then my next stage would be just to stamp one of the images from Seaside Dreams. So I'm just going to get my block that I've got my stamp on already. And I'm just going to take a brown ink. Whatever ink you happen to have in your stash is fine. Something that you can just dry off and colour afterwards. So whether you use VersaFine or Archival, whichever suits you best. Something that will create a nice crisp image. This is a big stamp, and I'm just going to stamp this slightly up my card. Press nice and firmly.
Pressure all over the block just in case, making sure. We've all got our favoured ways of stamping, etc. But you've got your nice big acrylic block. Look at the sharpness of that.
I'm just going to turn that around for the camera.
Yeah, I'll hold that for you to save you if you need to grab anything next. Look at that, the detail on the shells. This is from Seaside Dreams now, the shells, although we've got shell imagery on all of the stamps, so across the board, so, you know, you'd be able to mix and match with them. There you go.
All right, I'm just going to dry that off slightly, just to make sure it's nice and dry. Oops,
OK, and while you're doing that, actually, Howard, thank you so much. Howard, our floor manager, just handed in some examples, actually, so while we're drying, this is the Seaside Dreams set. Notice I didn't trust him now. I was like, which one's it? Just to make sure. But, of course, I know he has given me one. So there's Seaside Dreams, and you've got your packaging that shows off the detail of the designs, but the actual grey rubber, you'll see ever so slightly bigger here with your beach huts and the underwater foliage, the fronds there are just waving away in the water. Then you've got your seashells down below. This is the set with a few different verses on it as well, and sentiments. So Take Me to the Ocean. It's got the beautiful one by The Sea All Worries Wash Away and Dreaming of the Beach. And this is the set with 30% nearly already gone. The one with the beach huts here. You've got it here on the black card there. I mean, that's beautiful. And then your seashells here. I can see you're ready now, Judith, so I'll stop talking and I'll let you carry on.
OK, I need to put my glasses on first.
Join the club.
I know. OK, so I've just stamped the image onto some of our masking tissue. We've had this in our add-on packs on shows here at Hochanda before. It's not on the show today, but we are going to bring it back on future shows. That always sells out really quickly. It's very popular. You can see I've used this one before. It's really good. It is reusable, and because you can see I've used this before.
Well, yeah, because you've got your ink on it.
Yeah, I've actually used this one twice. And all I do is I actually just put it back on the
carrier sheet.
Yeah, the carrier sheet when I've finished. So I'm going to cover the image over with the masking tissue. Need a steady hand for this.
You've got steadier hands than I had on my first ever show here at Hochanda,
well,
Judith.
there you go.
I tell you, I think my whole body was shaking. I think I was doing an Elvis impression.
Yeah, that was my cup of tea earlier. OK, and then I just need a little bit more ink again. So I'm going to use a little bit of the yellow and a little bit of the blue. And then I'm just going to watercolour the background, just like I did before. So I'm going to start off with the yellow again. And again, I'm just using a piece of cartridge paper again. And I'm just going to use a little bit of the yellow at the bottom.
Flat brush, so you're getting good coverage straight away.
It's nice and quick. And I'm just doing it, just a loose watercolour. And I'm not too worried about how this covers.
You didn't wet the drawing cartridge before, did you?
I'm not too worried. I just because it's a smaller area, it's going to dry, you know, quickly enough. But the piece that I had earlier was slightly larger, and I wanted a little bit of water on there because I didn't want it to dry too quickly. And I've blended in where the two colours have met there so that they join up nicely. And again, I'm just going to put that to one side to dry.
OK, you're running out of space down there, Judith. No, I've got a bit of room here if you need it.
OK, that's fine. I'm just going to dry off my work area now because I'm making a nice mess for Leslie when she comes back.
I'm just going to borrow. Sorry, I've got to grab every 5 seconds I can because stamps are going fast here. So just while we're tidying up there and drying, I just want to show you how versatile the stamps are and how good quality they are as well, just at stamping here. Not necessarily from this stamp set because we've got a couple of the shells and the starfish from a different set. That's a nice big one that I think was from the underwater set, or Mermaid Queen's got a shell that looks similar but smaller. So mix and match. But it's just as an inspirational piece, this is. There's a stamp that looks like that in the Mermaid Queen set. Details on the left-hand side of your screen for that right now. See what we can catch there in the reflection. So nice to see mixed media projects as well,
right,
isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, they're brilliant for any kind of home decor or mixed media. You know, lots of people like shell-themed projects for their bathrooms, don't they?
Yeah. To keep it
so they're brilliant for that kind of thing. And you can stamp on fabric with these if you use the right inks. You know, if you're not going to use them to actually put through the wash, you can use something like an archival ink or what have you, and it will stamp brilliantly onto fabric. So
lovely stuff.
OK, so now I'm going to stamp my background, and I'm just going to use both images and go through with the rusty coloured ink first of all.
Now, I'm sure I saw a shell like this on the Mermaid Queen set, so I think that's where you got this one from.
And I'm just going to, not too worried about how perfectly I'm stamping this, because I just want this to be a fairly pale background. I don't want this to jump out too much, because this is only to complement what's going on the front of the card.
Indeed.
So I'm just going to quickly stamp these randomly, and I'm twisting the shell around as I go along.
Get that sort of scattered, it's just been washed up.
And I'm stamping off the edge of the card as well to make it look as if it's been cut from a larger piece of paper. So, as I say, I'm stamping off the edge as well.
And that's that longer shell as well. Just trying to remind myself which, that came from the underwater. That's the one with the nice big seahorse.
That's right. So
And you can see the shading on that as well, the drawing.
It's a lovely detailed stamp, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to waste too much time.
So details on the left-hand side of the screen for the Mermaid Queen set. That's where the sort of rounder shell came from, and then the longer shell came from the underwater set. Details at the bottom of the screen for that. 141256, and they're both $14.99 delivery, saving on the introductory price because they're brand new today.
And then with the blue one, I actually did second generation stamping because the blue is quite a bold colour, and so I just wanted this to be a little bit paler. So I just went in with that, stamping off my page first of all.
Nice to see the first generation on the white card though, because of all the white paper.
Yeah, it's very crisp, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you're not even applying pressure properly, so you're not properly stamping it. But
yeah, just taking a little bit of the ink off.
Yeah, really nice.
But it is a lovely, detailed image, and this one is just gorgeous. This long one. And see how detailed it is.
See, this is why you craft, isn't it? Making your own backgrounds, making your own pattern papers.
I love to start with a piece of white card or paper and make a background from scratch and end up with a finished project. Yeah. And that's something that I really love to do. I find it really relaxing and so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my background done. Now here is a topper. If you like, that I started earlier.
This is what we did before, masking it off, but this one's dried now.
So I've now removed the mask and I've started to watercolour. So I'm just going to put some of my colours onto my glass mat, and I just need the 3 colours. And I'm going to show you how I made some of the
we've had an amazing email. Judith, we've had an amazing email from Paula. Right. He says it's great to see you demonstrating, and also you're doing a great job. So that's from Paula.
Much, Paula.
And your design team or DT work is always inspiring as well.
Thank you very much.
From Paula. Paula, thank you very much for sending an email. It means a lot. I could try and tell Judith that, but she wouldn't believe me. So coming from you, it's brilliant. It's much better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lots of other emails and messages coming through too. So, and lots of people saying they have got the relief, the soft form relief in time. Jennifer was one of the lucky ones and got it.
Well, you'll really enjoy working with it because it's a fabulous product. That's all I can say.
So cool.
I love working with it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done a yellow background for this particular shell, and I now want to add in some darker highlights to it, or low lights if you like. So I've just picked up some of the rusty colour with my water brush, and I'm just going to add in some shading around some of these darker areas. Sue is absolutely so helpful with her images where she adds in the dots and dashes, and you know where to add in your darker colours.
So we follow Sue's shading, yeah.
So we're just going to add in some of the darker colour here, around here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker colour into this darker area here, and that will give us some darker areas here. And when I did I put the mask on, I did have a little bit of seepage around here, and because I added so much water, and I'm not going to beat myself up about that, it's only crafting after all. You know, you're not trying to win a competition for the neatest artwork or what have you. You make what you will of whatever comes out, and so I'm actually going to work with this. So I'm going to use some of the yellow, and I'm going to colour my shell, and you'll actually see on my finished sample how I did this the first time around, but I'm going to just very quickly and loosely colour this in, and then I'm going to take some of this blue, and then I'm going to use the blue to add some shading around the edge.
There's always an answer. Not that it was a problem anyway, but you know, you're bringing that in, giving it a bit of a green
there's
glow.
no mistakes in crafting. There's only happy accidents. And I thought, you know what, I actually like that colour. And shells are so many different colours. And I really liked how that worked out.
And underwater you get like reflections and ripples and things as well. So
things quite often take on a bluey tinge. And then, because I'm only using 3 colours, I'm going to make a greeny coloured shell by mixing some of my blue and my green together.
You are only using 3 colours, aren't you?
Yes.
You told us that at the beginning, that I thought, really? But now...
It then becomes my palette. So I've done a green shell, and I'm going to add in I'm doing it really quickly, some blue shading, okay? And again, I'm going to make a slightly darker one over this side. I'm doing it really loosely. I'm not taking lots of time at all. And again, I'll add in a little bit of blue shading.
A bit of depth.
Yeah, just for the shadow. Okay, and that's all I did basically. Yeah. All right, and then all I need to do to finish the topper off is just to stamp.
Oh yes, sentiment, and then put it together. Yeah,
yeah, sentiment.
There it is, dreaming of the beach. Would it be fair to say always? Yeah, I guess so. Let's hold up so that we're not sort of hiding anything. That is the main topper that we've made live, rather than just hiding it and just throwing it off to the side and not showing it to you properly. But let me now swap it out with the finished example that we were using as our... I'll just pop that down. Thank you so much, Judith. The finished example that we were aiming for. We did show you how to make the background there. Just pop a postcard, maybe the next little stamp.
Literally, all I did was I just drew some lines with a black liner pen. This is another stamp set that we actually carry, which we may bring at some time to the shows.
Okay.
I added a little bit of ink around the edges. Again, just use these two colours, stick into my colour palette, and stuck it onto the top of my card.
Judith, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
First demonstration ever on Hochanda. How many days and weeks have you been looking forward to that?
Well, quite a few.
You've done it. You can tick the box now. OK, thank you so much, Judith. Really enjoyed watching that, didn't we? We've heard from Lorraine as well. Lorraine has sent in a picture. She's got some mermaids. Look at that. Look at it go. Ah, that's awesome. That's just inspirational to see what you can be doing. Isn't that beautiful? What do you think, Judith?
Beautiful colours.
Oh, it's strong. It's intense, isn't it? It's lovely colours. I like the stand that it's on as well. A beautiful piece of home decor there. Lovely. So your details are on the screen. Thank you so much, Judith. See you in a bit. The Mermaid Queen set is available now with all 7 images. £2 off, making it $14.99 plus delivery. 615-332. It is a big stamp, that mermaid. Big stamp. We'll see it next. I'd like to show it to you, actually, so that you can see it properly. If I hold it up, you can see it's bigger than my face. No, it's as big as it's sort of palm of hand sort of size. And it's on the easel here in front of me. So that does take up a large amount of that. And then if I showed you the packaging next to it, you can see sort of the stamped image, as it were, but how much bigger it is than the actual packaging. You can see the shell. That's what we used to make the backdrop just now. And you've got this extra little bit of underwater foliage that we referenced from that card earlier. It's got some stunning cards I'd like to share with you, because you've got that smaller seahorse here and the extra filler, that worker stamp, as Leslie would call it, and then the silhouette of the mermaid. But look at the seahorse. Look how well that works on that. And that backdrop. Oh, that backdrop reminds me of stuff I've done, like with the encaustic art. And then the seahorse, triple stamped, but using a gilding. Look at this, and then looks like a little bit of finishing there with the glitters as well. The mermaid, the design team have done different things with the mermaid. This is Magda's work now, working with the pencils, or the pens, you know, or your paints as well, your watercolours. You get such a different look with her. And you can see there with the metallics, it's all about the shine. Half the stock of the mermaid is gone already. Oh, you've got to see this one with the mermaid silhouette. Check this out. And then the difference here, I'm sorry, I'm addicted to showing you these samples because I just can't, I see one and then I see the next one on the pile and I just think I've got to show it to you. But the shells down below, one of those shells is in this set, it's that one there. And then a couple of these other, the starfish and the other shell are in the other sets for you. And then that main work behind as well, that's what the mermaid is actually sitting on already, so that's all part of the stamp anyway. So you get instant results. Let me just remind you of that on the packaging. There, you can see what she's sat on. I love it, I love it, I love it. And I'm sure you've got yours as well. It's a brilliant set. Love them. 615-332. Now, if you see Amanda's disguised as a Christmas tree at any stage during the show, you've got to let me know, because we've had reports on the local news about a man in the local area disguising himself as a Christmas tree and scaring everybody just for a joke. You know. Thank you very much, Howard. That's lovely. We've got our seahorse earrings that I want to show you. They're just in here in the tulle bag. Oh, always good for a giggle. There they are. There they are in the lovely tulle bag. They are from the underwater set. The seahorses, the underwater set. Hopefully you've got hold of your mermaid. Details are at the bottom of the screen for her, saving a couple of pounds on the introductory price. Now, the details on the left-hand side of your screen are for the underwater set. Now, I am that man disguised as a tree. I'm going to go over there. There you go, mate. Thank you very much. We just had to show those. So, thank you so much, sir. Right, the underwater set. Oh gosh, this is going to go so fast because you've got the seahorse made up of all of the shells from the different sets. You've got the smaller seahorse in there as well, and you've got the starfish that featured in that. It's got over here. There we go. The starfish down on the corner. You've got there, and then that larger shell there, that nice big fan-shaped shell as well, and that longer shell that we used for our background just now. The starfish, the seahorse rather, stamps beautifully, but here it is embossed. You can see there, sorry, let me get out of your shot there. There's the seahorse embossed. Some of the shell designs are here making the background. That corner embellishment is this stamp on the side, on the right-hand side of your packaging there. Oh, sorry, that's a different one. I'm trying to keep abreast. There it is on the right-hand side of the design and on the right-hand side of the packaging. You see that? That's that stamp on that corner. The others are from the mermaid set. Over half the stock gone on this set as well. I'm pretty certain I said half the stock of the mermaid had gone too, so half the stock on each of the sets. Oh, I meant to show you this earlier because this is one of my faves. I had this on the top and then I just completely forgot to pick it up. But you can see the bigger shell down there. And make these, you know, and go over with a glossy finish maybe, and just manipulate them a little bit to make them into real shapes, and suddenly you've got yourself a real beauty to hang up at home. There's your seahorse again. Some of the shells with the ammonite that I really hope you got hold of are just there. So 141256 to order now, with half the stock gone already. Half the stock. Order it now for $14.99 plus delivery. Okay, naughty at showing you the samples though. So yeah. On a picture here, we can show you the seashore scenes. Now, we've got Seaside Dreams. That's the one with the lovely beach huts. But this is seashore scenes with that wider, bigger picture. Tune in tonight at 7 p.m. If you're watching on Freeview and you've got a posh smart telly, don't worry, you can still watch on your TV because it comes through on the internet feed on a smart TV. But if you're watching on Freeview now, remember you can tune in on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. tonight, or you can watch online on Hochanda.com, on any other platform you'll be fine. Watch at 7. And then something else we just wanted to show you is the Seaside Dreams. This is the one with the lovely beach huts, and you've got the shells at the bottom. £2 off, 957-296 to order on that design there. Leslie, I'm so sorry because we got so carried away. We don't have much time left. But
OK.
Sorry.
I'll do the best I can.
We have longer than 2 minutes.
Oh, well, that's good. This is about techniques. OK.
About 12 minutes.
Right, OK. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to stamp my Mermaid Queen. This is what I'm using for now.
She's brilliant.
She is a stunning stamp, I have to say. She's amazing.
Yeah, half the stock gone on her already.
Wow. Yeah, I can understand why, because this is just... I mean, this is a colourist dream. If you enjoy colouring in, this is one of those that you could just sit hour after hour after hour and colour in.
Proper fantasy, isn't it? Take yourself away.
Yeah. OK, so I'm turning the block sideways because she is a very large stamp. And you know my principle about it's easier to stamp across than it is up and down.
Yeah, you always do that, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Do it sideways.
It's great because you get more pressure and you can get an even and more even stamp.
We can see how easy it is to cut them out as well. Don't get overly fussed with the detail. Just go boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. You don't have to do it. Yeah. So there we go. How's that? Look at that.
Look at
how is that? There you go. How good is that for an image? OK, I'm going to set her to one side to dry. Now then, what I want to show is to make because she's got this wonderful scaly tail, I want to show you how you can make your own glitter paper and make a glittery tail. So I've got a selection here of blues and distress inks and distress oxide inks, and I'm just going to just, and what you do is here, now when you've got, I always use copy paper, and my copy paper is always bits that are left over, you know, that from stamping. Don't throw those away. I'm actually making this one, but you will have this if you keep them. And I'm just going to randomly just put in, now this is what you'd have left over after you'd been doing your stamping and your colouring in. Okay, so I'm just taking some of the colours here, as pretending as if we've actually had this as what I call residue.
Yes, you're sort of mocking it up. That's what you'd be left with, kind of thing.
Yes, this is what you'd be left with had you been using your copy paper underneath. So don't throw it away. I keep telling people don't throw it away. Okay. So let's just assume that that's about it. And then what you do is put the lids on, because what you don't want to do is get everything else stuck in. Right, okay. So take your stamp again, and I'm just going to stamp up, ink up the middle, because I only want sort of her little top. See, very modest she is, she's covered up on top. And then the tail and the top, okay? And I'm going to use that into the area that I have falsely covered, but do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as in that was your waste behind paper, just catching all the ink.
So I only want the tail now, so if I don't catch anything else, it doesn't matter. But there you see, there I've got the tail and everything covered, look.
Very delicate, and then it gets stronger. That's a lovely mix of colours.
But you won't get the same thing every time. And the thing to do now is to just quickly waft that off, because I don't want to stain my Versa. I'm now going to use the Versamark sticky ink pad. Okay. Yeah, that's dry. And I'm actually going to over the top.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Okay. And you can see, because you can see it's actually shining.
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, twinkly embossing powder, and any of the nice thin twinkly ones that Chloe had on Saturday would be brilliant for this. And you only, as I say, you're only going to cover your tail.
Yes, you don't want to waste your embossing powder here, do you? Because you can't shake it off if it catches on the sticky bits.
No,
so you really
can't.
only want to shake it on her tail.
But if I could possibly ask
do
you,
that.
Matt,
Yeah, I love this
put
job.
that away.
I love this. Can I just take the top? Can I take all of it for now?
No, just take the top one.
Okay.
Thank you. And here we go. So very shortly, there we go, it's starting to turn now. As you can see, we're now creating.
Wow.
Okay. Now then, so there we have, you see how we've now got your own sparkly glitter paper look?
Yeah.
Okay. And from there, we would actually cut it out. And I'll pass that to you. So we've gone from that, and I'm just going to cut out the tail look, and obviously the little top. And I've set those aside. So now you see, have a look at that.
Fantastic.
That's a way of creating your own scales.
You've shown us some awesome things over the years, Leslie, but that's incredible.
Right.
You've got to do this.
Okay.
If you've got the Mermaid Queen today,
there's the one we stamped earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like when you've spent a bit of time at it.
Okay. So stamp it, colour it.
Colour it.
Do this on a separate waste sheet where you've got your ink.
And I'm going to do just a little bit more colouring of it. It's going to have to be very quick because I know we are running out of time.
Making to sell's usually not a problem with you guys at Chocolate Baroque either.
Sorry?
Making to sell's never a problem normally, is it?
One to infinity.
Yeah, okay, so make and sell as many as you want. You'd be there a long time making infinity, but yeah, go for it.
So this is make it very wet. I'm using picked raspberry and just make it extremely wet. Okay, so that's very quickly. Okay, and the face, let's just do the hair very quickly. This is quicker than I intended, but I'm sure everybody, because I have another technique I want to show you. So, very quickly for the hair. So I'm just not going to do all of it because I'm sure you can understand where it's going and how it would look. Had I got more time, and you have more time than I have anyway to spend doing this.
Okay.
So shall we leave that as it is? So that's her almost finished off. But what I want to show you now is to show you this little trick. So we do what's known as polyester, which is we don't use acetate because it doesn't stand on stamps. So I've got here, okay, it's not a good thing. We've got black,
You can sort of see it, yeah. It catches the light, Leslie, don't worry, we can...
There you go, right, okay. So I've punched out some circles, some larger and smaller ones, okay. Yeah. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to roll this through my Mercer mark, okay, because I actually want to see. Okay, there we go, on the edges. Mm-hmm. And some of the embossing powder. Okay. Now, I don't want to tip it. I actually want to put some on there. I shouldn't have actually put that away.
You could dip it in, couldn't you? Oh, you could have left it on your page,
yes,
yeah,
I wasn't thinking.
So, dip it in, roll it in.
Dip it in. Okay.
There we go. All the way around.
So there we go. So I'll just take that out.
You will heat that, won't you, now, still?
I'm going to heat this one now. Yes, because...
Can I put this back in? Is
yes,
that you can. Going to do more of these?
Because, whoops. Because I'm using our own polyester, it is heat-proof. Right. But if you have heat-proof acetate, you can do exactly the same thing.
Okay.
And there you go. So now you have... Just allow it, because it will be hot. But can you see you've actually now got a bubble?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is, that's how I did it.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I did it. Okay, there we are.
Seeing one, very clever.
Okay, so now I have done all of the others beforehand, and the idea would be, okay, I know we're getting short of time, but I hope you can see on the overhead.
4 minutes, Leslie, so hopefully,
I'm not going to stick them on, I'm just going to show you. Okay. So now you can place these wherever you want, and you've got bubbles.
Great.
So there's
different
the bubbles,
sizes as well.
Different size bubbles.
Yeah.
And can you see that now?
That's good.
And they reflect and they will sparkle. And I would put that then on the black card. The other thing I haven't done is I would also stick on...
Oh, of course, your tail that you spent time making. Yeah. The scaly, sparkly tail.
And I have also a very small little bodice here.
Oh, for her top, yeah.
For her top. So, come along. Okay. So, now you can see the finish. So we have...
Yay!
Scales for the tail, look.
She's brilliant.
There is her bubbles of her being underwater.
She's so cool. That's some ace techniques in there, Leslie. Ace, are you pleased with that? You happy how it's turned out?
I'm sorry I haven't got it stuck all together, but there you go.
It's all good. On the overhead camera, it's thanks to gravity that we can see that. It's brilliant. Leslie, I know that you had another technique you want to show us now, but I think we might be a bit rushed doing it.
Should
we say 7?
7 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Make a date to see us at 7 tonight. Watch us live on the web, live on Facebook, live on the telly as well. So all good. Have a look across the board at everything that we've got today, because this is the Mermaid Queen. Over 60% of the stock gone on the Mermaid Queen. My goodness. We've sold out so many times on different shows with Leslie, so we said, no, we need a large number of units. We don't want to turn away anybody empty-handed. So well done on getting that. That's a big, big number of stock level. Goes 60% gone. Underwater as well is another set for you. Also 60% of the stock gone here too. And that's a wonderful mix of images there with your seahorse, etc. And your seashells and starfish too. And then the seashore scene to this one here is that mixture, the lighthouse there, the wonderful clouds, the sunrise or sunset, and that stunning lighthouse too. 11 images on there for $14.99 plus delivery, 572,382. And then the Seaside Dreams, that was the one with the beach huts on it. Make them old, make them tattered, make them brand new and colourful. You've got your underwater scene in there too, as well as your collection of shells and your extra sentiments. By the sea, all worries wash away, being one of our favourites. Now, I'm so sorry for talking quickly there. It's like the end of one of those car adverts where they say, terms and conditions apply. But very quickly, I'll just mention these as well. The drawing cartridge and the craft card in an exclusive bundle in that way. I say exclusive, but it's not in an usual bundle. 141880. Get it before it goes. 24p a sheet. Apologies for speaking quickly, but I was desperate to get time to say hi and bye to Judith again, who's here live. Coming for a minute, Judith, because Judith and Leslie, both from Chocolate Baroque, but I just wanted to hold up some samples for the end too, because Judith, being head of the design team, of course, you must be so proud of everybody.
I am. They're a great team to work with.
And I'm very proud of Judith. She's done a fabulous job today. I hope you all think so. Thank you so much. I'm going to retire now. I'm going to hand over to Judith because she's just amazing, and I hope you all think so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judith.
Thank you, Judith. It's been brilliant. Thank you for watching too. Well, we've got a minute spare just to see a couple of samples here for you. I won't bully myself in trying to remember the different sets that they come from.
They're brilliant, aren't they? And I thank you to the design team, because without you, you wouldn't make these shows. Well, the shows wouldn't be possible, you know? And thank you, everybody who's watched. And also, if you've got that paste...
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, the paste that's sold out.
I'll bring some more back, I promise. But it'll be the new year now.
It will be New Year, so hopefully you got hold of it earlier on. I love the fact that we've got smaller cards, almost like an ATC style size, as well as the bigger 6x6 and 8x8s. These are both made by Anne, these two, just before. And then we've got a simple enough design there using the shells, but also I don't want to lose the chance to show you this. That is awesome. If you got hold of the Ammonite with the paste, that is lovely. Dreaming of the beach, aren't we all?
Yes. Well, like I said, only Chocolate Cabrock could do Seaside in December. And we've got some cracking demos for 7 o'clock, haven't we, Judith?
Yes, we have.
Love it. Please stay tuned for 7 p.m. tonight with Judith and also Leslie. Like Leslie says, only Chocolate Cabrock can do Seaside in December. Bye.
Bye.
Lots on the way. DigiCrafting, it's our one-day special coming up next. It's the final call. We've got the launch of the Sizzix Home Sewn Pick and Mix one-day special at 6 p.m. And then that's the show we were just talking about, the 7 p.m. That's in 2 hours from Chocolate Baroque. Don't forget Crafting Market. It's on Sky 676.
Hello, my name's Kay, and together with my husband Alfie, we have a little stamp manufacturing company called Indigo Blue. We started off in our garden shed, and now we have a lovely family of people working together to make gorgeous rubber stamps. And now we're actually working with Hochanda, some like-minded people, to really bring all that inspiration to you at home.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And I'm Pam.
And we're from Quilters Trading Post. We've been open since 2007, so we're coming up to 10 years now.
We started our business in Cambridge, really, with a long-arm quilting machine. We decided we wanted to make a proper business of it, so we bought a shop in this area. We soon grew out of that because we became successful, and we bought a school, and now we're in the school.
We have 4 parts to our business. We have the quilting service, we run workshops, we sell patchwork and quilting threads, fabrics and notions, and we do patterns and books. That's our newest thing, and our favourite being our Crafters Carry-All.
We've really enjoyed being on Hochanda. It's made us famous, really. We've got lots of people who now come into the shop and tell us that they've seen us, and that they've enjoyed the demonstrations, and they've watched us over and over again.
Make sure you don't miss our shows here on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Fiona Clayton from Crafters Companion. I've been crafting for about 7 years now, having rediscovered my love of a childhood hobby. I'm delighted that I can share with you all my hints, tips and ideas, and here at Hochanda we're going to make sure that you really enjoy your crafting as well. So join me, Fiona Clayton, here on Hochanda.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Final Call here at Hochanda. Hope you had a great day, and the lovely Michelle is our guest, bringing us brand new CD-ROMs for you to craft with. These are some of the fantastic cards that have been made from the images that are on the CD-ROM. Basically, all the CD-ROMs are Michelle's own artwork or things that Michelle owns. She's giving you the carte blanche to do with these images what you want, whether you want to use them in interior design, whether you want to make cards with them and sell them, whether you want to put them on your website. Whatever you want to do with the images that are on these CDs is absolutely fine by Michelle, so you can just go ahead and have fun. You can go ahead and make money. £19.98 is all you're paying for 3 CD-ROMs. You're getting 3, but you're only paying for 2. And these are they. Michelle, what a day.
I know, what a day.
Your first day with us, have you enjoyed it?
Fantastic. I've had just the best time. What a lovely place this is.
It's great, isn't it?
To. Yeah, absolutely. So friendly and everybody's lovely and so many familiar faces as well,
Absolutely,
which is great.
absolutely. Now, what we're going to do is straight away show you, one of these CD-ROMs is called Go Digi, and we're going to show you the sort of things that you can do with this. Lots of images on here, obviously.
843 unique digital images, and I'm just going to do this very, very quick demonstration to show you do not need a complicated software. You do not need to know how a computer works. If you can open a word processing document, you can craft with this Go Digi CD.
Right.
So this is how it works. We've got a word processing document open here, and it can be any word processor, and they will all have the ability to insert an image. So you find your insert image or insert picture, which will take you to all the files on the CD, and this is the square patterned paper section. So it's a huge selection of backing papers, which are all painted by me,
all original
by
artwork.
me.
Yep.
Original artwork, exactly. There's things that are blended. I've used the elements that are in the kit to make the page as well. I'm going to go all the way down the bottom. I'm just going to get rid of that there. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to pick up one of these, because we haven't looked at these ones yet. So there's all these sort of repeat patterned,
well, there's so much we actually haven't seen throughout the day. Nick, actually one of our design team that's worked on this particular show for Michelle and for us, actually emailed in earlier on, and he said that he's actually seen things watching Michelle's shows today that he hadn't actually seen on his CDs because there's just so much content. So this is how easy it is to import something from the CD into your workspace.
So it came in as an 8x8.
Yeah.
We shrunk it down so you can mat and layer with it. You can make it the size that you want to.
Yeah.
I've then cropped it into the side and I've pulled it out to the corners. I'm going to pick the crop tool up again, drag it out to the side, and it's now an A4 piece of paper that we can print off and craft with. So simple as that, you can get to your backing papers. Then if we move down to the next page, we can go back to insert image, and this time we can start to kind of create our own embellishments here. So if we go back to the main frame here, so we're going to go to embellish it, and we're going to go to the garden section.
Right.
And we're going to pick up one of my flower pots here.
All painted by you.
All painted by me. So there's a mixed media painting here. So there's a bit of watercolour pencil, bit of watercolour paint, bit of charcoal, bit of pastel. And you can resize anything you want to. You can flip it round to face the other way if you want to.
And you can build scenes with it as well.
And you can build scenes.
Right.
So if we I'll just show you how you do that. So again, you go back to insert image, and we'll pick up. Very proud of my watering can, which again is painted by me.
Right.
And we can put the watering can here, and we want it behind the flower pots to start to create a scene. So we right-click, and we're going to arrange this and send it to the back.
Okay.
So then we need to make our flower pots smaller to sit in the front of the watering can like that. And then maybe we want to, we could add another very quick element. So we'll pick up the fork here, and we're going to flip this round.
But
very simply rotate it.
If you think about embellishments that you may or may not have at home in your craft room, the chances are they are probably not quite the right size that you'd like them to be for the project you're working on, or not quite the right colour that you want them to be. With this software, you can make every embellishment that's on here the right size for you, the right colour for you, pointing in the right direction for you. You're in control. And you're not wasting any cardstock or anything. You're playing on the screen and then printing off when you're happy.
Absolutely, and it's as simple as that. So we've got some backing paper. We can actually mat and layer. We can have lots of different patterns or whatever. Bring them on, make the mat and layers the size you want them. Make a little embellishment. Have a sentiment. Simple as that. Print it off. Hybrid crafting on the next level.
With no need for expensive software. If you've got software already that you're happy with and you love using, any of the softwares that are out there that possibly you've seen Michelle with in the past will work with this, won't they?
Absolutely. So if you've got an existing crafting software that you love to use, which I know that a lot of you have, and obviously I used to have the same software, and in fact
to be honest with you, this is designed in that software. So everything that you're seeing, I've designed it in Serif Craft Artist. So yes, by all means, take that in there, build your own digikits, do with what you want. If you've got software in front of a CD crafting disc already, so like Minecraft Studio, absolutely. Anything that will take in a JPEG or a PNG image
which
that then you can manipulate,
which
most software will do, as you've just seen, word processing document, and they all work on that format, then you can use this collection.
OK, well, that is just one of the CD-ROMs. The Go Digi, we thought we'd show you that one first of all, because that's got, obviously, the most potential, that's got the most variety on it. I talk about variety, well, actually, they've all got amazing variety. Print It and Craft has actually got on this, you've got over 600 printable sheets on this particular CD-ROM as well. So this is packed full. And then you also have the Inspiration Station. I love that word, actually, that title. And there's 25 step-by-step projects on there to create everything, and everything you need to create the projects bit by bit, step by step. So 25 projects on there, 600 plus sheets printable on the Print It and Craft. And it is basically what it says. You pop it into your PC, you print it off, and you craft with it. And then the Go Digi is the one that allows you to do all the manipulation and so on.
Absolutely.
Now, also, what about papers that you can print on? Now, we put this together because now Michelle is part of the Crafters Companion team. They have said, well, why don't we have some fantastic printable elements in the show as well, bearing in mind the CDs are so popular. So what you've got here are a complete bundle of printable different types of surface to print on. You've got, let's start off here, satin finished printer paper, that's 50 sheets, 100 GSM. You've got your printable vellum, 15 sheets in there. You've got your decoupage paper, printable obviously, 15 sheets of that. Printable inkjet, acetate, 8 sheets in there. You've got 20 sheets of printable parchment, gorgeous, and then printable light card, 25 sheets at 160 GSM. That bundle, all of this for just £18.99, and it's a perfect match for
It's absolutely
the CDs.
perfect, and it prints beautifully, and you don't need any fancy settings on your printer, just standard print, normal print mode, normal paper, and it prints off beautifully. All the samples that you see on the show have been printed on one or more of the different papers there.
Well, remember, a brand new one-day special launches in less than an hour. This is your last final call to get these 3 for the price of 2. It's Michelle's first ever day with us. It's been a great success. You've loved the CD-ROMs, but there's still time for you to get 3 for 2. It's well over 80% of the entire day's stock has gone. $19.98. You save nearly £10. 864085. Now we've also got some printed out here as well, haven't we, from the Go Digi?
So just to sort of kind of backtrack a little bit, so the starting point for my collections, inspiration comes from the great artists. So that's I've kind of made that as my inspiration, and that will be going forward in my collections. And this one's inspired by Claude Monet, which is why it's called Lilies and Light. So water lilies, and he was a painter of light and everything. And I always start with my digikit. Oh, look at that. It's a different view, isn't it?
Isn't
it? So I always start with my digikit, and I start to create my element. So I paint my backgrounds, and I get the colour palettes.
Yeah.
So I'll get my aqua tints out, or my acrylic paints, or my watercolours, and I'll paint on my background, and then I'll start with the embellishments. So some of them are hand-drawn, like we've said, some of them are collected pieces that I own, so like the postcards and things like that. Now these are individual JPEGs and PNGs, so individual image files. So, so for instance, that tag there could be the size of that A4, or it could be tiny, tiny, tiny. So that's the difference with the digital manipulation over print out and craft.
So these are all images on the Go Digi, absolutely,
Yeah.
Brilliant. So if I just flick through them so
you
you can see.
you carry on, because you're probably quicker at doing that than I am.
And this is Michelle's original art.
And if you don't want to bring stuff in and make it the size that you want it, then you've got your print it out, or you've got a starting point of inspiration. The collection also includes a huge host of digistamps, so anything I've drawn is in digistamps. We've got the frame, it's there, so you can, if you've got the software, you can do your drag and drop into the frame technology, or you can just cut these out and put them over your photographs. We've got a huge selection of toppers. There's 69 unique toppers in each collection for you to just print out, but because these are digi, they can be any size. And then we've got the Colour Me Crafty versions of those toppers as well.
And this is by no means all that's on this CD-ROM.
Absolutely
This is just
not.
literally skimming the surface of it, just to show you as much as we can.
There's a selection of the papers. There's 197 backing papers in total. So we've got a pattern section, and we've got coordinating section, and we've also got a colour me crafty section as well.
And remember, every time you print something off the CD-ROM, it's there again for you to print again and again and again. Nothing ever runs out, except your paper.
So we call this like a craft shop at your fingertips, but this is a craft shop that you control. You know, you're in charge of this because you can make any size, shape, colour, whatever you want to do. So these are unique alphabets that I've designed for the kit. And then this is my version of Monet's handwriting.
I love that.
So I've looked at letters, and I've looked at the things that he's written, and then done my version of his writing.
Now,
and then there's a whole selection of say-its as well. So there's 60 words and quotes.
OK, now I've had a question.
Yes.
From Jackie.
Yes.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks very much for emailing in. She wants to know that if you wanted to use watercolours to colour in any of the digi-stamps,
yes,
would it blend? Would the actual ink that you've used to print it run?
You do have to be careful when you because you're printing from a printer, so you do have to be careful with your ink. What I would suggest, and I've done this myself actually, the Crafter's Companion watercolour card is fantastic to print on. Also, just take the outline back so it's not black, so it's just a very pale outline, and then you're going to get minimal amount of running. So that's how I would get round it. So like take it back to like a pale grey or something like that, or put a transparency on it. So it's just, you can see the outline to paint, but it's not going to run in. Or just be very careful and don't touch the black ink.
Well, just look around us at all these wonderful finished objects we've got. We've got glasses that have been decorated with printed rice paper. You can print onto that. Remember, the paper pack we've got here today with the acetate and the parchment in it as well, perfect to use in conjunction with these CDs. Now, let's go a little bit more in depth on Go Digi if you can.
Go who?
Go Digi.
OK, so I'm going to do... in a minute, I'll show you the finished piece that I've done. And this is printed onto fabric, so don't forget, there's so many different printable mediums out there that you've got fabrics. You can send your images away, so if you create a page that you like and you save it as a JPEG, an image, a photograph, you can send it to companies and have it printed onto cushions. You could send it, say, to Craft Yourself Silly and have a quilt cover made, you know, with the images we had on last night. You could have it played, exactly. And canvases, can you imagine having, you know, you do a design that you like and then having it put onto a big canvas
We've got some
with photographs in. Got some canvases here done by the lovely Lizzie and her mum, and these are all stitched into as well. So printing onto canvas works really, really well.
So you can actually embroider, if you want to, onto the canvas as well as print onto it too. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? So there's no end to really what you can do with all these wonderful images. And 3 for the price of 2. It ends in 46 minutes and 40 seconds. So get in quick. Right.
OK, so this is a software that I found that I trialled off when I searched on the internet, and I consequently got it. And it's a nice little bit of software, so this is what I'm going to use. And it's literally insert image, add a photo to the page, insert image, whatever it is, the same as your word processing document, which will take you to all the images on your CD, exactly the same. As we just saw just now with the word processing. But the difference with the Digi manipulation software is that you can add more to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into embellish it first, and we'll go to Flora. Now, I thought, as I've called this Lilies and Light, and we actually haven't used any of the lilies so far, that I should do something with the lilies, really.
That makes sense.
And it also gives us a chance to look down the whole Flora section and see ones that we might not have seen up until now. So I'm going to pick up my water lilies here.
And just by holding them.
Painted all of these. This one here is cut out from a postcard, which is in the bits and bobs, but I've cut it out. But these are all painted. There are photoreal flowers here, look. So there's photoreal ones as well. So yes, anything that's drawn is my drawings or my paintings, and then the photoreal as well.
And remember, Michelle gives you the ability to use them in whichever way you wish. If you want to make cards with them and sell them, make pictures and put them in frames and sell them, you can do, no problem. You can even put it on your website if you want to, use the images on your own private website, no problem at all. And even if you want to sell maybe digital cards, you can do that too, not a problem. Michelle just gives you carte blanche, use them as you choose, which is
I just want you to have the images, I want you to enjoy them, and make what you want with them. I don't want to limit anybody to to say that they have to make this or they can't do that or whatever.
Now, in the last few minutes of the offer, we're in final call. It is approaching limited stock.
Wow.
Just over 10% of the entire day's stock remains, and we've got 44 minutes left to go, so I think this is going to get very close to selling out. Will it sell out before 6? That's entirely up to you. Give us a call for it, or the website, hochanda.com. You'll have these for years and years and years, and you'll always reach for them. And like Nick was saying, and other people who've had these in advance of the show to do the samples and so on, you can't in an afternoon sit down and see everything that's on here. There's literally thousands of images which you can enjoy.
You won't, yeah, and you won't get bored. And also, you know, I want to take you on a little crafty journey. So even with the other kits, it is to sort of whet your appetite and think, oh, actually, yeah, I probably could do that, and I could come up with something myself, and then have a go and take you on a crafty journey and get you manipulating the images and starting to enjoy that and become really creative. And it's kind of, you know, in a way it's going old school, because some of it, you know, if you want to do your hybrid crafting, then you're going to get your scissors out and you're going to start to cut things out with your scissors, but I love doing that. I actually saw a crafty friend of mine last night as well, and we were talking about that whole, you know, we miss playing with our scissors and the glue and like the old school way of crafting, really.
And you mentioned before as well that if you're fortunate enough to own one of those machines that can scan images in and can cut them out for you as well, you can use this in conjunction with that too.
Absolutely. So anything that makes your life easier, please go ahead and use it. Because this is digital imagery, it's going to go into all of them kinds of software. So yes, absolutely use them. So with the any digi software, you'll have the ability to move your shadows around and to increase them or to reduce them. They all work differently, but they all work in a very similar way. So you see that now I've got a really heavy shadow on that one compared to the rest of the thing. So it's just to make the dragonfly look like he's really flying off the page.
And remember, you are sizing, you're positioning exactly what you want, where you want it, in the right colour and everything, because you're in control. And the Go Digi is really what it's all about, having the versatility. Look at all these other embellishments that are here, these gems that are here. Even a little pin, for example. You've photographed and put so many things on here for us to play with. Vintage postcards.
Let's bring the pin in. Let's bring on some bits and pieces we haven't looked at. So the plant sticks there, these resin embellishments, the Hessian. Let's have the bee charm. Let's have the little bird cage. Shall we just have a look, shall we? Just have a look at a few bits on the way.
You didn't hear our producer say that she liked the bird cage then, did you? Just
No,
as you
I
said
didn't.
that, you said, oh, let's go at the bird cage.
How funny. Okay, so we've... postcards, I've got loads of postcards. So there's a plant stick. So what I've done is I've made it look like a wooden plant stick, and then I've engraved words into it digitally. So that's Vous et moi. Excuse my French.
What does that mean?
You and me. And there's one that says beautiful, and there's one that says something else, and there's one that's blank.
Right.
So this resin heart here, I wanted some resin embellishments, so I got my embossing powders out and melted them and put them into moulds and made my own embellishments there. We've got the Hessian there. This is a bee brooch that lives in my jewellery box. I've had it for years and years. In fact, I found it somewhere. I found it. It was just on the road somewhere once, and I've had it for years and years and years. So that the bee suddenly...
You're a bit of a hoarder.
I am a bit of a hoarder. Yes, much to my husband's joy. And there's the pin.
Right.
And the pin's really cool. So if you've got a software that has got an eraser on it, you can erase part of that there like that, and then it looks like it's actually sticking through the
clever.
paper. Okay.
Clever, yeah.
So that's that one there. Let's move it off to the side.
You can have so much fun with this. You're playing and you're not using up any embellishments, you're not using up any paper at the moment, you're just playing virtually on the screen. And when you're happy with what you got, then just print it off.
Absolutely. And then you can, in different ways, with different programmes, you can start to change the colour of things. So we'll make this slightly greener. And we're going to add the saturation, and we'll lighten it. And then just go back to settings. Now, bear with a minute on this one, because it's going to look a bit random to start with, but it will all make sense. So we're going to do some copy and pasting of this postcard. So we'll just paste another one there, and let's make that one a lot bigger. So bear with me. We're going to copy that one, So don't keep going in and out. Once you're happy with an embellishment, you can just copy and paste it the same as with a word processing document.
Okay.
And you can resize it accordingly. So let's put this one here. Now, anything that's off the page, and I'll prove this to you in a minute when I show you the finished piece, doesn't print.
Okay.
So don't think, oh, hang on, that's the edges look a mess. It doesn't print. There might be a way, I know that there's a way on some of them where you can crop it so you can't see the edges when you're doing it. But I haven't worked out how to do it on this programme yet.
So now you're sending all those postcards
sending them all the way to the back.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing is I'm making my own background paper now.
Wow.
So I'm going to go back in here. And let's go backwards, back to the main bit, and we've got the paper boutique, coordinating papers. So here's all the colours in the coordinating papers. You've got purples, pinks, blues, in through the greens, and then the yellows, and rainbows, which he painted a lot of rainbow colours, lots of sunsets and rainbow. Yeah, absolutely. Skies are absolutely beautiful. Take a look at his work, honestly. There's more to it than you think there is. So we're going to bring this paper, so because this is a coordinating paper, there's not a repeat pattern on it. You can get away with stretching it a bit, or you could crop it. We're going to send this all the way to the back.
Yeah.
And now, when we print that off, we've got this kind of bespoke, blended paper.
I like it.
And what I did, so if we just now look at the actual sample that I've got to show you, is I printed this onto fabrics, printable fabric.
Oh, wow.
So it's actually cotton.
OK, and we have that, I believe, on the website. I'm pretty sure Crafter's Companion do that, yeah.
So just to prove that when you print it off, you don't see the edges, and then you've got this, and what I'm going to eventually do with this, I want to quilt it and stitch into the back of it and make it a piece of sort of mixed media textile art. So that's it. That's what you can do with Go Digi.
Well, remember, you're getting 3 for the price of 2. Go Digi, which is what we've mainly focused on for the last few minutes. That's the one that allows you to do all that manipulation, to change the colours, to change the sizes, all that sort of thing. Then we've got Print It and Craft, which is over 600 printable sheets. And then you've got the Inspiration Station, which is 25 projects, everything you need on there, all the elements included to make the project from start to finish. Those 3, you're only paying for 2. It's our one-day special. It's £19.98. And here's Michelle to kind of give you an overview as to how this all came about.
Hi, I'm Michelle Jackson-Walker from MGM Design Studios. I thought it'd be fun to share a little insight into my DigiKit creating. First comes the inspiration. I've chosen artists that inspire me, not to emulate their work, but to use elements, colours, ideas, and the lives that influence them to create a cohesive, craftable kit. I research their work and create mood boards that I put around my studio to immerse myself in the collection. I usually start a collection with the beginnings of the paper boutique and create a host of backgrounds. This generally frees up my mind and gives me a direction, helping me find the colour palette and style for each kit. Then I set to work drawing and painting some of the embellishments, especially the florals. I like to use different mediums for different artists to further create a mood for the collection. Sometimes it might be bold acrylic paint, and other times it might be watercolour paint and pencils. Not all the embellishments are drawn and painted, some are handmade. For instance, they might be moulded from clay, cut from felt, or created with cardstock and paint. This then takes me to my photobooth, where I photograph what I've made alongside some of the treasures I've collected over the years to create my photoreal embellishments. Then it all gets taken to the computer. Backgrounds and paintings are scanned, photos are downloaded, and I set to converting my work into digital elements for you all to enjoy.
Just over 35 minutes left to get the one-day special. 3 CD-ROMs for the price of 2. And we are now nearly limited stock on this. Wonderful, wonderful opportunity to get digital crafting in your home. And don't let that word digital put you off. It scares some people. It's not. Basically, all these are photographic images on a CD-ROM, which you can, of course, do whatever you wish with. Think of them like that. It's absolutely a breeze to use. Whether you've got a Mac or whether you've got a standard PC, it doesn't make any difference. They work in every PC out there, provided you've got a CD or a DVD tray. They are CD-ROMs, and these are just some of the things that we've made from the CDs. There's a happy birthday tag, which is absolutely beautiful. These gorgeous three-dimensional butterflies that you can see here as well. That printed page from like an antique book, that's on there as well. You'll just, for the first couple of days that you own this, you'll just have a flick through so many different elements and pages. Here we've made like a gardener's apron out of that, and again, that looks as if it's all three-dimensional and it's been paper pieced or decoupaged or whatever, but no, that's just one piece of printed cardstock and paper. Nick in Bulgaria has done this one, and Michelle's not quite sure how he's done it, but see, he's taken her artwork and adapted it and used all sorts of different effects and so on. This has been printed onto Centura Pearl. Centura Pearl cardstock is great to print onto, and it gives it that beautiful kind of antiqued look with a slight goldy hue to it. And we have Centura Pearl in the show as well. It's on the website. Here, all of this looking very 3D, but that's just one printed sheet. The shadows have been added using, of course, the CD-ROM and the GoDigi software that we talked about earlier on. And all we used, remember, for that was basically a Word document. That's all we used. We didn't have any special software whatsoever. The GoDigi is kind of self-contained in that way. But having said that, if you have got special software, you can, of course, use it with these images, not a problem. So if you've already got maybe Serif or Minecraft Studio or anything like that that's got software, you can still use that with these images. There's your poppy. Isn't that beautiful? That black and white, that monochrome butterfly, stunning. Absolutely beautiful. So all of this, and this again, looking like it's all very three-dimensional, but it's just one piece of printed photographic paper. Amazing, isn't it? But you've got shadow behind the tags. There's, of course, that watering can, and, of course, the original artwork by Michelle. And she's letting you use it in whichever way you wish. What about these? Paper bags that have been printed. How cool is that? You can put your seeds in it. How about that? Really cool. So you can print on so many things these days. Maybe you've got some craft card bags. Maybe you've got, or you're going for that fantastic selection of different papers with the vellums and the acetates, the silk card or satin card. You can do all those sort of things and print onto all those sort of things, and also onto printable fabric, which Michelle showed you a few minutes ago. So they're just some of the ones that are in my hands here. But if you look around, we've printed onto rice paper. And then, of course, the rice paper's been stuck onto a glass, wine glass there, as you can see, with some battery-operated lights in it. That looks lovely. Some ordinary everyday jars have been decorated with paper as well, that have been printed from the CDs. Great for using with your scrapbooking. That's one of Michelle's passions. And here we've got two scrapbook layouts as well, using the components off the CDs. 864085. There's 32 minutes and 28 seconds to go before the price of this goes back up to where it should be, £9.99 each CD-ROM to £29.97. If you order it now, it's £19.98. Let's go back to Michelle and let's show you another one of the CDs. Let's go to Print It and Craft. This one is over 600 printable sheets. Wow.
Yeah.
Not elements, but sheets.
Sheets, absolutely. So there's loads and loads in here. So from the GoDigi, so that's where I start. I always start with my DigiKit because that's obviously all my images and everything. So from there, and this is when I was talking with Sarah, when we worked out the concept of this, we didn't want to exclude anybody. So if you don't want to manipulate things, if you just want to literally print things off and craft with them, this is for you. And it's so you get all of the elements that are in GoDigi in several sizes and flipped where it works. Right. So I've got so few of them printed out so we can have a look. But this stack here is everything printed out that's on that CD.
Now, I can't flip through all of this because it'll end up going all over the floor. But look at that. I'll do my best. Look at how much content you've got. This is 641 sheets of copy paper that's been printed with all of those elements. I mean, yeah, there's 2, 4, 6. There's 6 elements on that one sheet, and there's 641 sheets. Hello to Petra.
Hi, Petra.
Petra says that's how heavy that weighs. You can probably tell. Petra says it's great to see Michelle back on the screen.
Thank you.
Isn't it great? It's lovely. It was like a breath of fresh air when you walked through the door yesterday.
Come on in. And Dave was my first telepresenter ever.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, and it was my first telepresenter on Hochanda, so it all comes around, doesn't it?
Brilliant.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
OK, so I'm just going to show you a little bit of what the concept of Print and Craft is.
Yep.
So you've seen some of these images already on the GoDigi, and this is what I mean. So there's several different images, several of the same image in different sizes on a sheet. And also where it works, I flipped it round. So I kind of, with the Digi, I tried to make sure that there was nothing missing from a collection, so everything that I would want. So, you know, like I went back in and made the birdhouse because I saw that there was a birdhouse missing. We need a birdhouse. You know, so I tried to make sure there's nothing missing. So when I've done the print it and craft, I've tried to make sure that the images on these sheets, when you print them off, will go from a 12 by 12 size project down to a 4 by 6 project. So they should fit every project. And also, like I said, where it works, I've flipped the image round so you don't think, oh, I want the bird facing the other way. So there's my seed packets there, which are all hand-painted and handmade.
Cecilia, hello Cecilia, thanks for your email. She wants to know, can it be used on a Mac?
Yes, because it's images.
Yeah.
So you just access the images and you take them into whatever programme that you use.
Provided you've got a CD drive.
Yes, of course, yes. Yeah, anything. Some tags made with the artwork that are in there.
So there's some Macs don't have CD drives, but I think a lot of people have external drives that plug
I don't
in,
really,
don't they?
to be honest with you, I actually don't know anything about Macs. All I know when we produced this was that I was told that you could access the images. So yeah, they scare me. I'm not technological.
No, you think Michelle's technical? She's not at all. But you know enough.
I know what I know,
yeah.
and I know what I need to know to craft. And that is it. That's it. I use the computer to design stuff, craft with, go on the internet, and shop. Of course. But that's it, really. Yeah. I don't use it for anything else. It's like my husband uses his in a completely different way. So he'll do all his video editing and writes music, and he also likes the Digi stuff, but he uses that for doing publicity and things like that.
My bank recently set me up for internet banking. I wasn't really too keen on doing it, but I thought, OK, if you're offering to set me up, I don't like seeing my balance. It's never good news. I don't want to hear it.
So on the print and craft, we've got the words and the quotes. I think there's something like 60 words and quotes, and there's 3 different sections on print and craft. So this is where it's slightly different to the Go Digi. So there are slightly different sections, and we have say it in the frame, so you can cut these out and then ink them and colour them as you wish. We've got say it your way, which means you can use your dies or whatever it is you want to do to cut the shape, and then say it with a title, which are the larger versions of the quotes for your larger projects. I'm going to flip this the other way. We've got the frames, and it just keeps going on. So you kind of get the idea of what we're on. And paper-wise, they print off at 8 by 8, so it all will work on an A4 printer. If you've got an A3 printer, great, you can print it bigger. I've also put in all the A4 versions of everything in landscape and portrait.
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
So that I make sure, again, that, you know, when you haven't got that piece of paper, you've got, oh, I want that bit, or it doesn't work that way around. We've got the coordinates there, and then you've got all the coordinates in A4 as well. Plus, you've got all the same, again, in your Colour Me Crafty.
Absolutely, in your kind of digital stamp form, and all those alphabets as well. Now, if we look at the interface on the screen, this is what pops up when you put the CD into the tray, and if you hover over a certain element, it wiggles, so you know that that's a department to go into.
So anything that that moves, then you know that there's something there. There's a little goodie there for you to get hold of. So if we click on the B, that's your say it section. So we've done in the frame. Let's go to we'll go with the title.
Okay.
And we'll have a look at some of them. So this is how you access them. So you click that, and we're now going to the PDFs. So if we say it with the title Garden. And that was from previous when I had it open, and they're the bigger titles. So gardeners know all the dirt. Oops. Leave room in your garden for the fairies to dance. Garden as though you will live forever. Life's a garden, dig it.
Like it, like it.
So I've just collected loads of words and quotes, and as I said before, we've got Monet quotes in there as well, which I wanted to include because I just thought it was really nice to have his words as well. So we can, where does a bird take us?
Click on the little birdie, frame it.
Click on the birdie, and we've got frame it. So we open that up. And these are the Polaroid frames, and then I've etched out words into the frames there. So you get three of each size frame there. And then if we, which one should we do now? Dragonfly, poppy, bird cage.
What about the lily?
Lily.
Yeah.
The lily takes us to embellish it. Okay. So we have the bits and bobs section, the gardening section, trim it, and floras.
Right.
What would you like to look at? Anything
bits
in
and
particular?
bobs.
Bits and bobs. You like the bits and bobs,
I do like
don't you?
bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs.
Like a bit of variety.
So bits and bobs is literally that. So it's the postcards, the tags, the gems.
Honeycomb and corrugated card, hearts and tags, music paper, postcard and receipts. Ooh,
yeah.
Let's have a look at the receipts, see what people have been buying.
So it's a vintage French receipt.
Oh, I like those.
And a little vintage French postcard. It's the stories, isn't it? It's the history and the stories. So I've used Monet's colour palettes and his imagery as inspiration, but also the time that he lived. So there is that shabby chic French feel going on with it as well. Anything else in here, or should we go back and see if there's another one that we can...
Let's do something different, shall we?
Birdcage, poppy, dragonfly, poppy?
Yeah.
The poppy takes us to the paper boutique.
Right.
So we've got like I said, all the different A4 wares like this, the Colour Me Crafties and the squares.
And to be honest, some of these images, that poppy image in particular, I mean, that you could print off, put in a frame and just have it as all art. It would look lovely as it is.
Yeah, I really do like my poppy paper. I think it's really nice. I can't remember which number it is now, so you'll just have to when you get this home, just have to look through and work out where your favourites are. So that's a bluey pinky
background
that doesn't show up very well on the television. That's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way.
What's your favourite medium to print onto?
To print onto,
yeah.
Depending on what the project is, really. I love the light printable card.
Right.
It's absolutely perfect.
In the bundle.
The satin finished paper is beautiful. In fact, the 641 sheets are printed off onto the satin paper.
Right.
And the Nina cardstock. I love the Nina cardstock because if I do any manipulation with paper, it really holds its weight. And the acetate is phenomenal.
Yeah, and the acetate is great in that, you know, imagine those butterflies or those dragonflies printed onto acetate and then cut out. You can make mobiles out of them if you wanted to. 8 sheets of printable acetate together with all the other papers, parchment, remember, printable decoupage paper as well if you want to do decoupage. Yeah, print the same sheet off 3 or 4 times and you can decoupage it, no problem. As well as decoupaging it digitally on the screen, you can decoupage it manually on paper. And then the satin finish printer paper there, 50 sheets of that. So, yeah, so obviously Michelle would recommend that you go for this as well, depending on what you've got at home already in your stash.
And depends what you want to make as well, you know, the canvases, the materials, whatever. These are just some ideas. So the print it and craft, really, you're then taking your hybrid crafting onto the next level. Now, hybrid crafting just means printing it from a computer and sticking it together.
Yeah.
There's nothing complicated. We use all these fancy words, and actually it just means printing pretty images off your computer, which I hope I've given you, and then cutting them out and crafting with them in whichever way you want to.
And remember, if you want to sell that on your stand at a craft fair someday, you can do, and you can charge whatever you want for it, and Michelle's quite happy for you to use the artwork that's on the CDs for that purpose. No problem at all.
Absolutely. A bag, as a bag there for the gardener.
Yeah,
gardener in your life.
Well, we were showing you these the other day. They were on a Crafters Companion show as well, so maybe you've got those, you're wondering how to decorate them. That works really well, actually, the garden theme with the craft bag.
With the craft bags, yeah, it does, and the craft paper.
Ooh,
and then there's a canvas which you haven't seen yet, but this was done from Print It and Craft. So I've just gone through and I've gone, oh, I'll print the wisteria off, I'll print the page off with the bird cage, print some bits and bobs off, and then just start to collage it together, and then you've got a piece of home decor, completely unique, bit of acrylic paint in the background.
OK, the inevitable's happening. It is now limited stock. You have 21 minutes just over before the price of this goes back to £29.97. We've got less than 10% of the entire day's stock. £19.98, remember, gets you not 1, not 2, but 3 CDs from Michelle. This is her launch on Hochanda. Go Digi, we showed you that at the beginning of the hour. Printed and Craft is the second one, and the Inspiration Station is the third one. That one has got 25 projects from start to finish, and all the elements you need to print off to make those projects are on there. This is 641 printable sheets on the Print It and Craft, and it quite simply is what it says. Print it out, craft with it. And then the Go Digi, that's the one that allows you to manipulate sizes, colours, change the direction of something. You're in control with that one completely. So all three, 1998, 2, but you're paying 3, but you're only paying for 2. OK, let's have another look then at some more finished samples. I'll leave Michelle to just get the next CD-ROM into the machine there. But look at what we've got. We've got 3-dimensional collectible ornaments. We've got a lady with butterfly wings on there and that cup and saucer all printed off from the Printed and Craft CD-ROM. Also, you can, of course, print onto lots of fabrics these days, printable fabric. Here we've got a bag that's got the bumblebee printed on a few times. What else have we got down here that I can show you? We've got little glass bottles that you can see here as well. We've also got, I think, some cushions and things like that underneath the counter here, so you can print. If you've got, printable fabric that you can run through your printer, there we are. How brilliant is that? And there are printable fabric sheets. I believe Crafters Companion do those, and they are on the website if you want to have a little look at hochanda.com. Just put printable fabric into the search box, and they should pop up for you. So anything that you create on your screen, you can then print off onto fabric and incorporate maybe into a cushion, or all sorts of ways of using it, obviously. We've got some more down here as well. There's another one. There we are with the bee. Bees achieve the impossible. You are the bee's knees. I like that. I like that a lot. Everyone loves bees, hates wasps, but we love bees. 19.98. That's your price. For 3 CD-ROMs, you're only paying for 2 of them. 3 for the price of 2. And what about the garden theme? Everybody loves their garden. My mum in particular would absolutely adore all of these images. There we've got a 3-dimensional bird box, as you can see, but that's been turned into like a pen dispenser or a crafting desk organizer, maybe. We've made boxes out of some of them as well. We've got covers for tissue boxes over here. Here we've got our fantastic scrapbooking pages, which I think you'll agree are lovely. Pop-up boxes as well, very popular. And remember, with the Go Digi in particular, you've got all those embellishments, all those wonderful things that you can import into your screen, and you can then change the shape, change the size, change the colour. You can't do that with embellishments. Embellishments are expensive. And they are one shape, they're one size, and maybe you can change the colour if you've got alcohol pens. But this, you can completely change to make it the right proportion for what you're working on. And look at these down the bottom here, these wonderful bunting streamers that you can see. Maybe you're going to be putting some of what you've printed off onto MDF shapes. That would look fantastic. MDF hearts may be decorated with some of the images. Remember, Michelle's inspiration has come from Claude Monet. That is the era that we're talking about. It's the colour palette that's inspired her, as well as his artwork, of course, as well. But these are some of the letters of the alphabet that are on the CDs as well. How many different fonts did you include, Michelle?
There's 5 unique alphabets.
5 unique, including the one inspired by Claude Monet's own signature. So that's the one with the beautiful flowers on it. So you can make bunting and make it, name specific or whatever. OK, let's go on to our final disc. Inspiration Station, good name.
Inspiration Station. You see, I've had fun making up all these words. And so this is where I completely trash the desk, and we cover it in samples, and we go sample-tastic.
So basically, there's 25 projects on here. What sort of projects are they? They're card-based projects? Or?
They're anything you want them to be.
Right.
So just the same kind of ethos as my DigiKit. It's anything you want it to be. I don't want to limit anybody. So I've called them Create It, and I've called them Scrap It.
Right.
So Scrap It obviously suggests that they're scrapbook pages, but they could be anything you want, or you could make them into home decor by putting them into deep edge frames or anything like that. And Create It could be the front of a card, or they can be the front of a bag, or whatever it is which you'll see in the projects. So it's to not limit you to what you're crafting.
Yeah.
And each project comes with a serving suggestion from me. So these are imagined by me. There are only suggestions of what you can make with them. Full step-by-step colour instructions for each project of me making it, explaining why I've done things, why things work, little techniques and stuff that I like to use. And then you also get all the craftable companion sheets that you need to make that project.
Right.
So it's all my Digi images, but resized, ready to fit an A5 project or a scrapbook page or whatever it is.
Superb. So if you love projects to get your teeth into, this is the ideal one. If you're wondering about that item number on the back there, that's it individually, OK? So what you want is 864085, which is that included with the other 2 CDs. That's the one-day special. So 1998, 864085, that's part of the 3 for 2 offer. And these are some of the projects.
These are, I've actually got all 25 projects, which is why at the end of the show I keep just trashing the place, because I'm getting 25 projects out. So these are some of the things that we make on the Inspiration Station. And I said earlier on, it's like a big fat crafting magazine. So when you need a bit of mojo inspiration, you can dip in, get a bit of inspiration, and maybe print some stuff off, free your mind, and you'll come up with different things. Now, this is a 12 by 12 scrapbook page. Do not panic. You can print this on an A4 printer. I've made sure that I don't exclude anybody. So this actually is a strip of paper attached to another strip of paper here, and we very cleverly cover the join. So you can still make your 12 by 12 scrapbook
and those
pages.
are those Polaroid frames again, aren't they? That we showed you earlier on, so you can put your own photographs into those. Look really sweet.
And another scrapbook page here, again done in the same way with the join across it.
Yeah.
We've got a piece of home decor, but this could be the front of a DL card. You know, it's entirely up to you what you make, or you could actually make a completely different shape project altogether. We've got a 6 by 6 scrap it here. So these are all hybrid crafting. Again, that just means you're printing it from your computer and then you're cutting it out and sticking it together. It's the same as having a paper pack. It's just that maybe you have to do a little bit of work with your scissors.
Right.
That's what it is. We've got the A5 project here. So get your embossing powders out, get your inks out, you know, really properly craft with these. Don't just because I'm calling it digi, it's just their digi elements, the digital elements, they're photographs, like we said, they're image files. There's nothing complicated. If you've ever printed off from a crafting CD-ROM, you've done digi-crafting. It's as simple as that. And then we've got these even just as simple, but this has got the fantastic acetate. This prints so well, and it really holds its shape as well.
Now remember, you've got less than 15 minutes now to take advantage of the one-day special. We are limited stock on it, which means that only 10% or less now of that stock remains. You've got 3 brand new discs from Michelle, and each of them different. The Go Digi, the Print It and Craft, 641 printable sheets, not elements, but sheets. And then you've got the fantastic Inspiration Station with those 25 inspirational projects and all the elements you need to build that project from start to finish. What you can do to it personally is, of course, add your own individual photographs and make it personal to you.
Absolutely.
But wonderful ideas. Could we just go back to the Go Digi just for the last few minutes?
Yes,
is that
of
all right?
course.
Can we
Yes,
do that?
of course.
OK, I'll just remind everybody of how to order. If you want to order now, it's 01733 602,000. That's our phone number. Also, you can order on the website as well. And the website is www.hochanda.com, OK? Either way, you can get that one-day special before 6 o'clock for 3 for the price of 2. £19.98. If you do want just the Go Digi on its own, or you want the Print It and Craft on its own, or you want the Inspiration Station on its own, they are available on the bottom of the screen. They've been popping up throughout the show, £9.99 each. But then, of course, if you want all 3 and you buy them individually, you're looking at, well, nearly £30. Get them today as the one-day special, and you get all 3 for the price of 2. £19.98. OK, now in the last few minutes, you can see here all the things that we've produced from the fantastic imagery. And remember, this is all images that are Michelle's own either artwork or things that she owns and has in her own possession, which you are quite within your rights to use however you wish. Michelle is giving you absolute permission to print these off, sell them as cards, whatever you want to do with them. If you want to sell maybe digital cards on the internet, you can do that as well. It's not a problem. She's quite happy for you to use any of these images in any way you see fit, which I think is absolutely fantastic and so generous. And even if you've got things like scanning machines and cutting machines that you can normally put files into, possibly there's copyright issues with some other software, or not software, but you know, images and so on. With Michelle's, not a problem. You can use them in whatever machine you wish. 864-085. It is the one-day special, and it is final call. Let us, though, go back to Go Digi, which is, I think, the CD out of all 3 that people are getting excited about more.
Yeah, and I think this is because it gives you the freedom. It gives you the freedom of not being told what you're going to do with it. You've got complete control on it. And the thing is, the crafting industry is going digital. A lot of the big companies are producing their collections digitally as well, which is a great way that we can access things like it time and time again, whether you want to keep it on your computer or print it off or do whatever you want with it. And it's just, it gives you a whole, it doesn't take away from any of your other crafting, it just adds to your toolbox.
Explain to me then, if you haven't got any crafting software, and lots of people watching probably haven't, they can still use Go Digi, can't they?
Can still use Go Digi. It's as simple as a word processor. Should we look at the word processing thing?
Yep.
OK, so this is a word processor here. Now, this is even a free software, OK?
So every PC will have a word processor.
You'll all have a word processor
of
some sort, and if you haven't, just go and do a search on the internet and put free word processing, and there's loads out there.
Right.
And so you don't even have to pay for them. And all of them come with the ability to add an image. So you click Add Image, and that will take you to all the files on your disk. So as simple as putting in some paper. So shall we look at... We'll look at a patterned paper again.
Oh, wow, they're gorgeous.
I know the one we'll look at, because we looked at this on launch yesterday. I'm going to bring in two, and I tell you a little story.
Okay.
She says, "Oh yeah, I'm getting confused between my softwares now." So this garden fence here, I wanted a garden fence, and I couldn't find a garden fence to photograph that looked pretty without, you know, muck on it or something.
Right.
So I made one. So this is strips of cardboard. So in the VT that we saw earlier on, I'm actually making the garden fence.
Wow.
So it's mount board that I painted with what we call poor man's crackle, and so it all distressed, and then I cut it into strips and then made a fence. And also the birdhouse is made from that.
Right.
So you can make it A4 quite simply by dragging that down. Because it's a long panelled piece, it could work like that. I'm just going to delete this off, so don't panic.
Oh, and as a background for a garden theme, perfect.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll go down there. I'm going to bring in another piece of paper now. So I'm going to show you how we can go from square to A4 without stretching it down, because obviously this one wouldn't work stretched down. So this is one of my favourite pieces of paper. This is one of my rainbow pieces of paper, and then I've added embellishments onto it. So that's the receipt, I've got the gilding flakes, and I've got the splats that are in the DigiKit as well. So we can make this any size we want to by simply dragging the corners in and out like this. But to make it an A4 piece, we just find the crop tool, and again, all the word processing documents will have the crop tool somewhere. If all else fails, go and look up the top here where it says format and styles, and you'll find the tools. You'll find the tools you want. So we're going to crop this down to a rectangular shape. And then what we do when we select it is we then grab the corners and we pull it out like this, down to the bottom. It's gone too far to the bottom because that won't print, obviously. And we want to bring this bit out here, so we pick the crop tool up again and we just drag it out. And we just widen that until it's the right shape.
Are you straining to see what the writing is, like I am? Trying to see what it is people have bought.
It's yeah, what they've bought. Yeah, it's in French.
Oh.
Okay, so then to get access to the embellishments, so again we just go back to the file. So this is you can see it says pictures. It just is accessing your picture files. So the same way as you bring in a photograph or anything. So we'll go to the embellishments and we'll go to the floras. And let's look at, to tell you what we haven't looked at, is the photo reel. Let's have a photo reel lily. Like we said, because we...
So this is a real photographic image, yeah?
This is a real photographic image. So this is a flower that I've had. It was in fact, I think I bought it at a second-hand shop, and then I've tarted it up and cleaned it up, and I photographed it. And you can copy and you can paste things to do your repeat patterns. It doesn't print with the box round it, so don't worry about that box being around. It's just, I think it's called a bounding box, but I'm not really sure because I'm not technical.
Okay.
We'll go back to the image, and then there's also this lily pad, photo reel lily pad that I found, which is fabric again, and it's got like water droplets on it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. And then what you can do is you could bring your lily down, right-click, and we will arrange this and bring it right to the front.
Yeah.
And we can make it bigger, and then suddenly we can print that off as an embellishment. And maybe we could add dragonfly.
And you've created this, so, you know, the chances of anyone creating exactly the same that you've done is very remote indeed.
Absolutely. So we'll pick up... We'll have a look at one of the... I think the vintage ones haven't got solid wings, so we'll go with the blue one. We haven't looked at the blue one. And we'll bring that blue one. So if we need to shrink him down because he's dropped off the page. Now he's back on the page. And we'll bring him over the top there. And then we've got a dragonfly flying off the lily pad, like that.
Love it.
So you could print that out, you could find a phrase, you could do whatever you want, and then you've made your own embellishments. So you've got access.
And remember, you can build up your scenes. You know, you've got all the fantastic embellishments on there, so you can put things in front or behind. You can drop shadow on some of them as well. And, you know, if you look at the screen and don't like what you've done, you've not wasted anything. You've not printed anything off. So there's no ink that's been wasted. There's no paper that's been wasted or cardstock that's been wasted. You've done it on the screen, so just jiggle it around till you're happy. Then print it off. It's so much fun.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You can, from there, you can actually make your own decoupage sheets or hybrid sheets or whatever. So if we right-click and copy our dragonfly and take him to another page, and then we paste him, we can literally repeat pattern him. So then we can print that out, and then we could layer him up. We could print him onto the acetate. So like on this sample here, we printed onto vellum first. So there's vellum underneath, and then we've got the acetate wings on the top. So again, you just print it onto different mediums and you've got different embellishments.
And don't forget, remember, if you want to go for the paper pack that's here today, the Crafter's Companion have put together specifically for Michelle's show, because obviously we're talking about printing off everything that we're working with on CD. This is a great variety bundle. You've got printable light cards, 25 sheets, printable parchment, which looks so expensive, it looks so luxurious. Then we've got printable inkjet acetate. Always print on the rough side, is that right?
Always print on the rough side. There is instructions on the front of the packet as well.
Then you've got printable decoupage paper, 15 sheets of that. And then you've got printable vellum paper, 15 sheets of that. And finally, 50 sheets of your satin finish printer paper, which is what Michelle was printing on for those 600 sheets in front. £18.99 is all this is. £5 reduction as well if you order it now. 757564 is that item number. And the details also of the one-day special quickly, as this ends, remember, at 6 o'clock tonight, and a brand new one from Sizzix begins. And we have a brand new guest, Beth, to introduce you to. She's lovely. And we've got a great deal on dies coming up in a minute. But if you want to go for Michelle's 3 CDs today, where you're only paying for 2 of them, there's the deal on the screen. The all-important item number, 864085. Only £19.98, but you do get, remember, all 3 of the CDs. You get Printed and Craft, Go Digi, and the Inspiration Station. All of those, and they are just really, really easy to use, easy to print off, and easy, of course, to make up your own unique
It's
works
kind
of
of
art.
learn it with Inspiration Station, craft it your way with Print It and Craft, and then take it all the way with Go Digi.
Yeah,
it's
like a
that. It's a
stage.
journey.
Yeah. Well, we've only got a minute left on the show, but you can still order up to 6 o'clock, so you've got about 4 or 5 minutes left before that price ends, and, of course, goes back to where it should be, £29.97. Now, obviously, this is the beginning for you here.
Yes.
So what sort of things have we got planned in the future?
Lots of things.
Yeah? You're working on the next?
Yes, yes, it's nearly done.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not telling you.
OK.
But
Watch
it
this
might
space.
be a bit tropical. But I'm not telling you.
OK. All right. So if you've loved
Work out
everything
what
about the
artist
One
that
Day
is.
Special, if you've loved everything about the One Day Special, Michelle will be back with more shows very, very soon, I'm sure, on Hochanda. And, you know, it's not daunting. Digital, I know that word sounds quite daunting for an awful lot of us, but it's not. It's quite simply, if you can use your PC to do your shopping or your banking or whatever, or send an email, you can use these CDs.
You can take photographs on your camera and put them onto your computer and print them off.
You can use
these CDs.
Brilliant. Michelle's been great.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Brand new
Thank
One Day
you.
Special coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. So yes, it's Sizzix Home Sewn Pick and Mix One Day Special. We've got a choice of dyes for you coming up next, with, of course, patchwork very much in mind. Chocolate Baroque at 7, and then more from the Pick and Mix on the One Day Special at 8 o'clock tonight. So that's what we've got coming up over the next few hours on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Lizzie, and I've been chosen to represent the brand of threaders from Crafter's Companion. How exciting is that? Now, I've seen a few little bits and pieces that are going to come our way, and they are so exciting. So there's machine embroidery, there's applique, there's quilting, there's just normal stitching. What more can we say? It's absolutely fantastic. Think of all those things, and I'm going to inspire you, the new stitcher, and I'm going to inspire you, the experienced stitcher. And hopefully all of us together will be on that journey, and we can learn from each other. So join me for the Threaders shows on Hochanda.
Hello, my name's Kay, and together with my husband Alfie, we have a little stamp manufacturing company called Indigo Blue. We started off in our garden shed, and now we have a lovely family of people working together to make gorgeous rubber stamps. And now we're actually working with Hochanda, some like-minded people, to really bring all that inspiration to you at home.
Hi, I'm Fiona Clayton from Crafter's Companion. I've been crafting for about 7 years now, having rediscovered my love of a childhood hobby. I'm delighted that I can share with you all my hints, tips and ideas. And here at Hochanda, we're going to make sure that you really enjoy your crafting as well. So join me, Fiona Clayton, here on Hochanda.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome to Hochanda. It is 6 o'clock, which means it's time to launch another one-day special. We do this every single day of the week at this time, and tonight's is going to be a very popular one, I feel sure, because we're talking Sizzix, we're talking amazing dyes that can be used for all sorts of things, but predominantly we're talking kind of soft crafting and fabrics and patchwork, that sort of thing, but they can be used for other things too. And we're talking a pick and mix. Before we get into that, I've got to introduce you to a brand new face for Sizzix. The lovely Beth is with us. Hello.
Hello,
welcome.
How are you? Thank you very much.
Good to see you. We met each other a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. When I came and did a demo and scared everybody, I think, with my samples and things like that, my piles of fabric going everywhere.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, Beth is brand new, so welcome her to Hochanda. And what you're bringing with you today, Beth, is fantastic. This is a pick and mix.
Yeah.
So basically, what we've got here are Sizzix dyes, the Biggs dyes, but what they are, as you can see, are images that can, of course, be used in all sorts of ways for your soft crafting, for your patchwork, for your quilting, for fabrics if you want to maybe hang the gingerbread men, maybe as bunting for Christmas, make fabric Christmas trees, but these can also be used for cardstock and craft metal and balsa wood and all sorts.
So many different things, and I mean, I love fabric. Fabric's where I feel comfortable. It's what I love working with. I'm very tactile and just love fabric, but I use it for card, I use it on leather, I use it for all sorts of things. And what I love is that I can use the same product and then share it with a friend who does card making as well.
Absolutely.
So it's just really, really great, really versatile.
You've not seen the Biggs dyes before, I'm sure many of you have, but if I just show you, basically the steel blades are concealed within the foam block on the back, and when it goes through your big shot machine, it of course condenses it, and that exposes the blades, which then cuts you the shapes through multiple layers of fabric. And what we've got for you are basically these 4 dyes, and you can choose any 2 of them, and you save £12 by doing that. So basically they're less than £15 a die. So you've got the choice between, we start down this end, triangle is the first one, gingerbread man, Christmas trees, and your square dance is that one. That's what that one's called, square dance, okay? So basically, if I just show you the shapes, on the back of the packaging, you can see all these different shapes can be used and all the inspiration as to how you can build up a pattern using them, because it's not just one shape these dies cut, it's multiple shapes, as you can probably see there. So that's the square dance, okay? We then, if I show you the next one quickly, this one is your Christmas trees, so it's not cutting just one, it's actually cutting 2 Christmas trees at the same time, and slightly different sizes as well. And not just for applique, but you can join them together and make 3-dimensional trees if you want to, make mobiles out of them if you choose to. So that's the Christmas tree. The next one is the gingerbread man, really cute. And again, lots of ideas, maybe put him on an apron, join him together to make bunting if you want to. But there is the shape of the gingerbread man. Hopefully you can just see that. Yep, you see that. So that's the gingerbread man. And finally, we've then got, of course, the triangle up here. Now, I did give you a little glimpse of that one. Look at all the different ways of using this. I reckon this is going to be the most popular die.
I think it might be. Yeah,
it's so versatile, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So you choose 2. Now, you can do the pick and mix in one of 2 ways. You can go on the website, which is hochanda.com, put in the 2 that you want. You'll only be charged $29.98 for them. Or if you haven't got a website, you'd rather do it on the phone with an operator, just give us a call, 01733 60 2000, and they will also do the pick and mix for you. You can have 2 the same, 2 totally different, whatever you want. 173439 is your item number. Now, we've also got, before we get onto the demos with Beth in a second, we've got another new today. Now, this is £14.99, 038794. This butterfly is absolutely gorgeous. Don't you agree? It's stunning. So that one's new today at £14.99, 038794. And am I right in saying there's a freedom price on those? Yeah. Not on that one, but there are on some others that are coming up in a minute. We've got the circles as well. This is available, so make your own baubles and all that sort of thing, all different sizes. And that's £14.99. That's 644889. Now, not only have we got the one-day special launch in this hour, every hour that Beth is here, we have a happy hour deal. Now, that is only for the hour. The one-day special hopefully will last 24 hours, but this is only at this price for this hour. If you order it before 7 p.m. tonight, you'll only pay $9.99 for the Sizzix Biggs die, the square, the 4-inch finished, 4.5-inch unfinished. So it takes into account the seam allowance.
It does, which I love, because it means I don't have to do the maths.
Excellent.
Yes.
So that's the square. That's our happy hour deal for $9.99. OK, Beth, what do you want to show us first of all?
Oh, great. I want to show you the Christmas tree.
OK.
OK,
yep.
So I loved getting these dies. When they were showing me which ones I was going to be using, I got very excited. I love Christmas.
Oh, me too.
I love it. I love the twinkle lights. I love how everyone's really happy. I think it's because I'm quite an excitable person, and basically Christmas is the time of year when everyone else catches up with me and is socially acceptable to pretty much wear the twinkle lights. So I've got the Christmas trees here, and I'm just going to make one of these little Christmas ornaments, because a lot of the time we think when we work with fabric we have to then stick it flat and it's 2D, but actually you can do some really fun 3D things.
What's your background then? Because you've been with Sizzix before and you've gone away and come back, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been with Sizzix for a couple of years. Introduced to them as my mum helped them when they first moved into the UK. My mum was involved in just in the quilting side of things, introducing the fabric side with the team, working with the team up there. So then she drags me along when they needed an extra pair of hands, because I love fabric, and I've worked with fabric for 17 years now. Right. Working in a patchwork shop when I was very young. Yeah, and doing that. So
it's kind of addictive, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. So I had a fabric stash and I moved away. I've been living in Mombasa for the last year. Living in Kenya, absolutely beautiful spot, but I had a fabric stash to come back to, and I did take a sewing machine with me in my hand luggage. Right. So you can't leave fabric behind. No, it really was quite heavy. It broke the bag a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, I've got them layered up. So what if you saw me do it?
How many layers are there?
So I've got 4 layers. Right. Now, depending on the fabric you're using, depends on how many layers you can put through, and you've got to have a play. So this one, being a felt, is actually a little bit thicker, but as you can see, I'm just going to concertina my fabric. I'll actually do that again so you can just see that. But I'm going to put the edge of the fabric on the edge of the die. Now, there's very few ways that you can actually use this wrong, and usually it is user error. It will pretty much always. So if you don't layer up your fabric quite right and it doesn't go quite to the edge of the design, you will find that you won't get the shape you're cutting. You'll end up with a corner missing. So I'm layering that up. I've got a nice new cutting pad on top. Made it a sandwich, so I've got a cutting pad on the bottom, the die, and then my fabric, and then another cutting pad to make the sandwich.
Now, remember, we're using the Big Shot. Obviously, there are only certain machines that the Biggs dies will work in. Big Shot is the machine of choice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I absolutely love this. It's durable, it's easy to use, it's fairly compact, and I would be lying if I said I hadn't used it as a doorstop before, because then it doubled up on purpose as well when I wasn't crafting. And also it meant I get to look at it all the time.
Well, it is on the screen now, and it's also got a great reduction as well. It's £25 off, and it's on 2 flexi buys as well, $42.50. And if you're a Freedom member, you don't have to pay the P&P. So if you've been wanting this machine, now's a good day to order it. And, of course, go for the one-day special at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. So I've cut that, and you can see I've got a nice little string of that, which we'll come back to in a moment. Right. Now, to make these into my actual Christmas tree, what I'm going to do is just grab a glue gun. Obviously, be careful, hot glue. And then taking my Christmas tree, I'm just going to go around the edge of one side. I'm not going to go all the way to the middle, because that's going to make it a little bit harder to do. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on there.
Look at how precise the cut is as well.
Oh, you know what? It's just a dream, being able to cut that precisely. I wouldn't cut most of the shapes that I actually enjoy cutting if I had to do them by hand. So this opens up a whole load of new craft ideas to me. So I've got 2 pieces there, stuck those together, but only on half of them. I'm going to get the glue again and just pop that. There we go, like that. And I've prepped some little bits, of
bits of twine.
Thread, some embroidery thread. You could use whatever you wanted there. And you wouldn't even have to use these, but this makes it into a little hanging decoration. So lining up my edges, just popping those bits there. Okay, nearly done.
Doesn't take long, does it?
No, and again, this is what I love. So I have many jobs. I have many hats, should I say, that I wear. Many things that I love to do. I bake, I sew, I do all sorts of things. So being able to actually do something creative in a really short amount of time is fantastic.
Now, these Christmas trees, they can hang on the tree, they can actually freestand as well. They make table decorations if you want to use them in that way as well. These dies will be with you in the next few days. They'll come straight to your home. So if you want to do last-minute preparation using these Christmas trees before Christmas, or maybe craft with the children, they can get involved as well, obviously with these dies, adult supervision, obviously. But look at that.
Done.
A tree decoration or a freestanding ornament in next to no time using the dies. And the die, the Christmas tree die, actually has 2 trees on it. One slightly smaller than the other, so I don't know if the camera can pick up. If I angle it so you can see, there we go, look. Yeah, that one's slightly larger than that one. But they will cut both of them out at the same time, and multiple layers of fabric, or whatever you choose. Whether you're cutting craft metal, whether you're cutting balsa wood, whether you're cutting fabric, whether it's denim, hessian, burlap, anything like that, not a problem. These dies are designed to go through all of that.
Absolutely. Now, going back to the piece that I had before, I know some people would look at this and be absolutely horrified at the amount of fabric that's left.
Right.
But then, going back to the fact that you've just said about that smaller die being on here as well, if you now go back with this, unfold it, and put that fabric back, if you put it carefully back on top, you can then use those spaces to do the tree. So if you fold carefully, you can be really frugal with your fabric. And then if you have these little bits here that are left over that have the hole in, so you can't use those, then what you can do is you can use those to create little spots. As you'll see in those and some of our other dies, we have these little circles that are available on the gingerbread man as the eyes, and you could use that to decorate it. You could also just make it look like it's got some snow on it.
Great idea.
But the idea is there's just so many possibilities for that, for decorating.
And if you're looking for felt or anything like that, we've always got a good selection on our website and loads of different festive colours, and well, not just festive colours, any colour really. So that's a really good idea and a good way of using the Christmas tree die.
Yeah, absolutely. So another one that I love, I really enjoyed working with the triangles this time, which is not something I ever thought I would say. So as a patchworker, when I was using other methods of cutting, I pretty much avoided triangles as much as I possibly could. Seam allowances on an angle where the fabric could stretch, just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using rotary cutters and templates, that's all well and good, but sometimes you can make mistakes. The benefit of a die like this is you're going to get absolute accuracy every single time. Now, remember, this is a pick and mix one-day special, so you're choosing 2 dies for £29.98, saving you £12. They should be £41.98, so in other words, they should be £20.99 each. You're getting them for under £15 if you order them as the one-day special, and you can choose between 4. So you can go for the triangle, the gingerbread man, the Christmas tree, or indeed the square dance, whichever of the 4 you wish. 2 will only cost you £29.98, and remember, Freedom members don't have to worry about the postage. The triangle is in the lead, and 20% of the stock is gone. The reason I think that's the case, and correct me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm not right with this, but if I turn it round, look at the possibilities and the different combinations that you can achieve by investing in this today. When I first saw the shape, I thought, oh, that's not what I was expecting.
No, I wasn't expecting it exactly like that either.
You've actually got like an elongated triangle there, smaller one there, and a proper triangle there.
Yeah. And they all then combine to make these beautiful shapes. So I so love this particular die that a couple of the cushions are designed. So one of those, the light one there, I was thinking Christmas, I was thinking the subtle colours. So we've got like an icy Christmas here with a snowflake on the front of it. I love that one.
So this is
really
done
tactile.
using this die?
Yes, I got so excited about it. And then if you turn it over, there's another star on the back. So it's a double-sided design.
Oh, that's the shape of the... Yeah, I've got it now, right.
So then there's that one as well. And then if you go to the other, there's a really nice rich coloured cotton one there. Cushion, I might have fallen in love with this dye quite a lot and used it.
I can see why.
Yeah, but then look, and so this one is using a cotton velvet. And for this one, this was my jewelled Christmas. So this was just, even as it moves, you've just got those colours, that richness of the colours. But this is exactly the same dye for those two cushions. And it's just using, just repeats of different ideas of orientation to the fabric. And you get so many different possibilities.
Again, if I just hold the dye up, it's difficult because it's black on black, but can you see that there's the actual shape there, and it's that panel there?
Yeah.
And there. So when I saw that, I thought, really? Yeah, but that's what you need. That's how it works.
That's exactly how it works. So, and you were saying earlier about the fact that you can use these dyes on fabric, on card, and all sorts of things. Now, I have a cheat that I love to do because I'm quite haphazard. I suddenly decide I want to make something. Usually I've promised something to a friend and said, hey, I can just whip that up in an evening. Shouldn't ever say that. So then what I like to do to actually make sure that I utilise my fabric well and my time well, I actually make templates using card.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can just take some ordinary card. Now what I've got here is I've actually already prepped some and made some like this, using the die and just cutting those out. And what you can then do is arrange your die, arrange your pieces of card, and you can design your whole quilt using these cards. I mean, using anything that you want before you cut it out. Genius. So when it came to that jewel one, I laid it all out. I had my pink ones and this one and this one, and I was like, right, cut 6 of that triangle, 8 of this one, and 9 of that one, whichever it was.
Great idea.
And then you're not wasting the fabric either. It's quick on time. Great thing as well is you then take a picture of your design from up above. You can check if you like the look of it from a distance, and then before you know it, you've got everything cut out. Then you can put your paper away and refer back to your photo to work out how to stitch it.
What a brilliant idea. I'd never thought of doing that. So cut a few of them out in card first, rearrange them, make the pattern that you're happy with, and then, you know, you can cut the precious. You can cut the fabric then, can't you?
That's it, because that is the bit that we all enjoy doing.
This is the one that is in the lead, OK? The triangle will be the one to sell out first. 20% of the stock of the triangle is gone. We haven't been on the air for a quarter of an hour yet, for goodness sake. So, but all these different designs are achievable by just investing in this one die today. And you can choose between, maybe you want to go for 2 of the same because you and a friend want to do similar projects. That's absolutely fine if you want to do that. You can mix and match whichever 2 you want. Keep one for yourself, give one as a gift to a friend. But all of these patterns here on this particular one are achievable by buying this die today. And you're getting it, remember, if you buy 2, you're getting it for a £12 reduction. And these are brilliant, brilliant dies.
Yeah, so I was just looking for one of the dies. I've put one of them away in a random place. So
use this one?
Yeah, is that okay? Let's use that one because I really want to show you actually it being cut. Now, I've also wanted to just point out I've got 2 different dies, cutting pads here. This one, brand new, well, brand new apart from the Christmas tree that I've just cut on it. You can just about see when I catch it in the light that it's got some cuts on it. And then I've got this battered and bruised one. Now, people look really quite horrified when they see one of these, but it just shows that you can use this again and again. You may also see that there's even a slight flex in this, even as it gets used, and the way that you combat that is you just keep turning it over and using it. The same way they tell you to treat a mattress, just keep
turning it over.
Keep turning it over.
Now, if you want extended cutting pads, we've got those available. If maybe you've had your machine for a while now and you need some new cutting pads, they're on the screen. They're $16.99. You get a pair of them, OK? And that's 685-420. Now's the time to stock up if you need them.
Yep. And what I'll also do often, a little handy hint, is I would use one over and over and over again until it was this kind of state or a little bit or more. And then when I need to use the other one, that's the time I buy my extra set. So you always have something ready. So as you can see, I just laid it. I just get too excited. I just go for it without explaining what I'm doing. So I've got that layered up. Now, I've got the 3 different shapes in there. And you can just see the lines of them. So a lot of people say, oh, I have to cut out all of them at once. No, you don't. You do have to potentially think about how you're going to lay it out, but it's like with everything. Measure twice, cut once. Plan twice, cut once. So I've got 2 layers of a cotton velvet here. The fluff will go everywhere. You'll be covered. I will apologise now.
I've been covered in worse, don't worry.
So then just folded that, so it only covers half of the die. And then I'm just going to pop that back on there and rolling it through. Now, I am using the extended cutting pads. I do quite enjoy using those for some of the longer dies. It just gives you a little bit of leverage when you're then pushing it through, because that bit will squash down. It just eases it in if you've got several layers. I am a bit...
That is a lovely fabric as well, the feel of that cushion.
Isn't it gorgeous? So then that just comes off.
And this has gone through 2 layers of that very thick fabric.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, and when I'm at home, I do usually try with any fabric that I'm using. I would then see how many layers I could get through. I will always do that. So depending on the thickness, if you're looking at a regular quilter's weight cotton, then I would say using 6 to 8 layers, depending on the coarseness of the fabric. Something like this, I would try 2. I might try a 3rd layer, but it's not worth it not quite working, or it's not worth it trying to shove loads and loads through just for the sake of it. You might as well just take your time. It saves so much time. The angle, knowing that is exactly precise every time you cut it, is just worth the time it takes.
Now, maybe you're going for the triangle die and going for maybe one other, if you're going maybe for the square, think about our happy hour deal as well, because this die, the square die that we showed you a few minutes ago, is only going to be here for the hour at this price with £5 off. So if you want that square, it's a 4-inch finished, 4.5-inch unfinished. That's £9.99 if you want the square die, OK? That's 341613. Is that the square die? Is it?
It is. It's just got a really nice floral design on the fabric they used to cut it out with on the packaging.
OK, so that's 40 minutes to get it at that price. That will go back up to what it should be, which is £14.99 at the end of the 6 o'clock show. So.
Yeah, and I've had people ask me before and say, well, why would you buy a square die? Because I can cut a square. Yes, I can cut a square as well. I'm not as daft as I look. But I can also do it wrong quite a few times. So the number of times, like I say, I do a lot of different things. So I'll come home from work and I want to get something cut in an evening. And just being able to put the die, pick out the size that I know I'm going to need, put it in the machine, or if I'm feeling like it's worth a try, I'll do the cooking, I'll make the tea, while my hubby, I'll be like, right, you do the cutting while I make the food.
Oh, that's brave.
I know.
Leaving the cutting to someone else.
Yeah, I actually I completely trust him with this.
With the dies?
With the dies.
But with a rotary cutter?
Well, no, I'd like to say I trust him. He's a wonderful, wonderful man and very, very capable. But I think I get scared sometimes that if I'm tired and I'm using a blade...
You could make a mistake with a blade. I could make a mistake with a blade. Anyone could, let's face it. But with a die, it's completely impossible to get it wrong unless you put the fabric in the wrong place and don't cut it properly. That's the only thing.
And then you'll end up with a little nick off a corner. So like we say, measure twice, cut once. So you can see just that strip of fabric that I had before, I've now cut out some more pieces. And then the thing that I love about the triangle, so let me point that out about this, because it works with all of them that have the notched edges for the seam allowance, that if you've got this piece here, and it's got that little notched edge on it there. Let me just turn that so you can see it a little bit better. It's got the corners cut off, which obviously means it's not suitable for making applique triangles with, because it doesn't look like a full triangle then. But what that means is when I go to stitch the two together, laying that just like that, means that I can match up those edges really, I'm doing it backwards there, matching up those edges, and I can see exactly where to start stitching at that point up there, see where to finish stitching. And then if you want to, you can pin. I'm a little bit of a rebel, I don't always pin it, but those notches means I can see before I finish the project whether I'm matching up those edges right, which then means that I can whip up something very, very quickly with a shape that I used to hate.
And that particular cushion there took you how long to do?
Oh, I did that last night, just in an evening.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah, just whipped it up really, really quickly. I'm
really impressed with that. Let me just show you that again, because I love both of the cushions here, but this one, look, that is gorgeous. I'd love that on my sofa. It's really kind of cuddly as well with the fabric that Beth's used. Very, very luxurious, very opulent, rich colours as well. But it's the triangular die that's achieved all of these shapes and this pattern. But remember, on the back of the die, it shows you all the other patterns that are achievable by getting that die as well. Now, $29.98 is the price for 2 dies of your choice. It's a pick and mix, and that's the lovely thing. You're not being dictated to. You've got to buy these 2 to get the discount. The triangle, half the day's stock is gone of the triangle.
Half?
Can I have that back?
Yeah. I was going to try and take that one as well. To make some more. I can make you a cushion.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah. I'm up for that. So half the stock of the triangle's gone. The gingerbread man, you're loving the gingerbread man. When you see what we've done with him in a second, you'll love it even more. The Christmas tree, that's proving popular. Over a quarter of the entire day stock has gone on the Christmas tree. And the square dance, 20% of the stock. Now, just like the triangle, to be honest, if I turn it round, look at all those different patterns that the square dance can achieve. So if you're looking for versatility, it's got to be the square and the triangle, as far as I'm concerned. If you love your patchwork and so on, then this has to be one of the shapes to consider. If you love images and you want to have, well, maybe you want to go for all 4 of them and save £24, feel free to do that. That'll be less than £60 for all 4. You'll have then the gingerbread man, the tree, the square dance and the triangle. 173439. But look at this little clip that we've shot for you, because this shows you the versatility of them. Now, you do have to have a big shot machine, remember, for the bigs dies. Many of you, I know, have one. If you haven't got one, but you want one because you want to take advantage of the one-day special, and the dies are giving you the inspiration, and you're thinking, I want to get my hands on these, we've got the big shot in the show. So it is on a £25 discount at the moment as well, so it's a good time to buy one. £84.99, and it's on 2 flexi buys as well. And it's one of the most versatile machines because you can use your thinlets. Any thin metal die will go through here as well. You get the plates you need, obviously, but not all machines can do the bigs, whereas this can do both. So, and also emboss, of course, as well. £42.50 today, delivered if you're a Freedom member, and then £42.50 in 4 weeks' time. Otherwise, if you're not a Freedom member, you have to pay the £3.95 postage. Let's, though, go back to the one-day special and talk about the pick and mix. We are very busy for it. Choose 2 of the bigs dies, either the triangle, the the square dance, the tree, or indeed the gingerbread man. Choose 2, you save £12, £29.98. And just look at this cushion. That is my favourite. That could look great on my sofa at home, really would. The one next to it in pastel shades, in more of a felt finish, that looks gorgeous too. That's using, both of these using the triangular die. We've then decorated the Christmas stocking with the tree. And Beth was showing you, of course, how you can do that three-dimensional tree. And by the way, if you like the look of this, that alphabet is on the show as well. We'll give that to you coming up now, actually. So there it is. It's the Sizzix Bigs Tim Holtz wordplay alphabet. That is 2 flexi-buy payments of £25, and that gives you all the letters of the alphabet, and that's a Bigs alphabet, OK? So there they are, look, all the letters and the numbers. That's a great font, actually, really good font. So that is available as well, 2 flexi-buy payments of £25 if you'd like that. OK, now, look at what else we've got. We've got these beautiful quilts that are laid out here as well. That's, again, using the triangular Bigs die, the quilt that's just at the bottom there. If I just show you here, gingerbread men. You could have gingerbread bunting, you could put people's initials and letters on there to spell out a name, or you could actually, Beth said to me before the show started, why not put your Christmas cards? They could be holding the Christmas cards. What a great idea. Fantastic. I'm going to turn that one round. He's a bit shy. He's a bit camera shy. There we go, there he is. And we've decorated, this is felt, we decorated it with all sorts of paints and that sort of thing as well. So you can have real fun with them. So that's the gingerbread die. Here's another, a doorstop. Hey! Oh, I like this, because, again, we've got those letters, the font, Holly Jolly Christmas. Convert that in, there's actually sand in there, I can feel it, sand, in a velvet doorstop with a handle on the top. There's the Christmas trees, the different sizes of the Christmas tree. Aren't they gorgeous? So you choose the 2, automatically, if you do it online or on the phone number with the operator, you'll only be charged £29.98 for 2, OK? If you want that triangle, that's the one in the lead. 70%, no way. 70% of the triangle has gone, and I think now we've shown you the square as well. That's probably not far behind it either, because it's just as versatile as the triangle is. We can't get any more stock of this, I've been told, either. So once that triangle is gone, that is it. Now, the other deal that you may well want to think about going for at the same time is a deal that is only available in this show. It's a happy hour deal. It's a square Sizzix Bigs die with the 1/4-inch seam allowance as well. £9.99. That's a 33% saving. Yeah, it's a third off the price, down from £14.99 to £9.99, but only for the next half an hour. 341613 if you'd like that. And that's a Bigs die as well, remember, for your big shop. More bigs. Now, if you like your bunnies, we've got, these are on Freedom discount prices, aren't they? Yeah. If you're a Freedom member, it's £12.59 delivered for this Bigs bunny. Wow, what a great price for that one. That's 723639. All of these are on the website, by the way, as well, if you want a reminder. Then we've got the owl and all the components for the eyes, the beak, the actual wings as well. This is £12.59 as well. Ridiculously affordable, this. £13.99 if you're not in the Freedom Club, plus postage, or it's £12.59 delivered if you're a Freedom member for that one. That's going to absolutely go. We've got our Heartfelt by Tim Holtz there. If you want to get that particular die, that's also on a Freedom discount of £13.49. Will it cut all those hearts in one go? that number?
Yep, all of those in one go.
Wow.
And multiple layers. So actually, I'll show you a cute little trick you can do with that in a moment.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to those in a second. And also, that has got a discount of Freedom membership as well. So that is, was it $13.49? Yeah, $13.49 delivered if you're a Freedom member. That one is $932,439. Busy show.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love that because people are going to get these, they're going to open them up, they're going to start using them instantly, and they're going to have Christmas presents. I was thinking with these ones, you know when you get like the Secret Santa that you forgot that you haven't done, or there's an extra person. Well, you're not taking mine, okay?
Okay.
So, but you could put people's names on. We've got those letters that you could add, and you could really easily decorate and personalise them and make little heirlooms as well. Yeah, you could do all sorts of things with that. So, yeah, that would be that's absolutely brilliant. So, let me show you with this one again. So, this one we've got the gingerbread man now. So the gingerbread man is one of my favourites as well. He's ever so cute. So I've got a piece of felt. Now, I got so excited about making with the gingerbread man that I definitely ran out of brown felt.
Right.
So we're going for navy.
Blue gingerbread
navy works for me.
Why not?
You know, just really nice. So that's going to go in, just tucking in the edges just to make sure that it doesn't go. Now, I've just done one layer here, so we're not overrun. You know, there could be a gingerbread army before long if we're not careful.
We're only half an hour into the show, and the triangle big sty that's supposed to last a day is limited stock, and we can't get any more of this. So that's going to be the first one to sell out in probably about 5 to 10 minutes, I reckon, the way it's going at the moment. So if you do want the triangle, please be quick for that. $29.98. Remember, for 2 dies, you choose which 2 you'd like. But if you want the triangle as part of that duo, you've got to get on the phones or on the website right now for it. It's because you can do all these things with it. Look at that.
Absolutely. They're just so versatile.
OK, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all good. So that's that one there. And we've also, so as well, obviously, if you just have just your gingerbread man...
It doesn't have to be gingerbread. If he's blue, he could be just a man.
He could be just a man. Yeah. And, I mean, if he was a very cold gingerbread man, if you turn him upside down... And imagine just putting on... I'll cut one out in a moment. Oh, there we go. If I put on a circle nose, now that would be a large nose, and I drew on some antlers, before you know it, you've got a reindeer.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little idea, hey?
Yeah.
So that was just using one of my baubles, one of my circles. So you can just see that actually you can really start playing with these ideas.
Yeah. Let me ask you how you decorated. What have you used on?
I just used a regular fabric 3D paint on those ones. So you can buy them in a lot of different places. There's a lot of different brands. I've used all sorts before. There's glittery ones.
I'm sure there's some on our website, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get those. And they're just, I mean, I've had glittery ones. I've had glow-in-the-dark ones. I mean, that might be a little bit scary if you had gingerbread men that were glow-in-the-dark. Could be a little bit frightening. But that's, yeah, that's all, like, just so many options.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've got a... Well, I thought the triangle might last another 5 or 10 minutes. All of the triangle dies that we have available to us are in baskets. If any bounce back, if someone changes their mind or gets distracted and it bounces back into stock, I'll let you know. But every single one has gone into someone's basket. So technically it's sold out for the triangle die.
Wow.
Let me pass that down there. I'll keep that there and just let you know if it comes back into stock. But we've got 3 remaining now on the Sizzix one-day special. Any 2 of these 3, the Christmas tree will be the next one to go. Is this potentially going to go this hour as well? Half the stock's gone on the Christmas tree to make these, or indeed to applique them. Actually, if you want to make your own Christmas jumper, there's still time, isn't there?
Yeah, just whack one of those on. Even, I guess you could do it in kind of a... You could safety pin it. Well, it might not be quite so glamorous unless you wanted a, you know, a punk Christmas tree with a safety pins. But you could attach it, stick it on. I'm sorry.
I like your thinking.
Yeah, a little bit out there. But, yeah, you could stitch that on quite easily and take it back off and your jumper's still usable. Yeah. I'll make giant earrings.
I was going to say, these could actually be earrings.
I think you should model them. I'll make them... Yeah, we could totally make that happen. Definitely make that happen.
You could have some fun with it, definitely. And of course, you could actually hang the trees on the tree if you wanted to.
Yeah. Again, you could. So I've got that gingerbread man, and let me just show you some of the other bits, because on that gingerbread man, you just don't just get him, you also get some of the shapes that you would need. Now, some people will then look in horror when I use scissors. They're like, well, why do you need scissors if you have a die-cutting machine? Because I'm about that frugality and about just making life easy for myself. So this is going through just on one section. Just got that fabric just on one section of the die, going through, rolling. It's so easy, and It can even be done just without holding it steady. If you've got quite a few bits of fabric, it's worth stabilising. But this is one where, under supervision, even children can do this. My nieces and my nephews will play with this, not play, but they will play with Grandma. They're getting into crafting because of this machine, because it just makes it so easy.
Well, they can play with felt pieces very, very safely. No problem there.
Yeah.
They can put the face and the expression on the gingerbread man as well if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. And because there's no exposed blades, it is a really safe way of doing it. So even before, if they're not quite managing the scissors, this is still a great way. Because often we kind of let the kids do the bit with the glue at the end, but they want to get involved in every element of it. So actually, by doing this, they can roll it, you know, Grandma or Auntie can hold on. But...
Let's remember, I know we're majoring and concentrating on fabric, which is great, because that's obviously one of the main uses for it, but you can use it on all sorts of things. You can use it on your craft card. Multiple layers of craft card. You can cut out gingerbread men or any of these shapes on craft metal, hessian, burlap, all those tough things. Leather is brilliant for leather and leatherette, suede.
Absolutely. Let me show you. I've actually brought some leatherette with me so on that doorstop that you just showed earlier, that one, it's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
So this one, I used the leatherette on that. So using, let's bring those letters out. So this is the wordplay die that you mentioned before. And it's great. It's got a load of different possibilities with it, loads of different ones. And again, you don't have to cut out the whole alphabet at once. So I've got some little scraps here from where I've cut out other shapes before. And what I'll do with those is just simply lay them on top.
Now, these plates are exactly the right size for the alphabet die. It's the biggest die in the show.
Yeah.
It is $49.99, but you've got all the letters in that funky font and also the numbers as well, and it's on 2 payments of £25 flexi-buy payments, so 543926. And this is a lovely font from Tim Holtz, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and you can really have a good play with it. One thing to always remember with any dies like this, with any alphabets, is you need to put your fabric on back to front. You need to put the right side down so that you then end up with it cutting out the right way. I have done that before. I've ended up with a whole word written backwards. So it's worth just making sure you've got that. So if I were to, I'm just going to pop that bit on. If I pop it around.
Now, these are the extended plates we're using, the longer ones, which are the ones that we have on the show. You can use the normal ones, but you'll only obviously only cover up like half of the die with it. If you have the extended plates, you can do the whole thing. So
that's it. Worth getting the extra long dies, the extra long pads, just to be able to do that. Now, I've covered small sections of this, and you'll see why as it goes through. So just again, feeding that through, rolling it very, very easily. And then you can see that it just brings it all the way through. I absolutely love this. You can do it standing, you could do it seated. Like I say, I can get the hubby to do it if I need to.
It could be mount board, it could be balsa wood that you're cutting letters out of, anything like that.
So then I've got these, and I did do them the right way around, which is a relief, isn't it? Oh boy, you do it.
It's not if it's going to go wrong, it goes wrong on TV.
Exactly, exactly. So at a couple of places, I'm just teasing out those small sections, just like the inner bits of the letters. So just popping those out. There we go. And very, very easily, we have the word. I did do one of them the wrong way around because I was trying to get clever and say baby, so it says baby instead. So I think I've just proven my point, but you can see that you could then even use the D and the B, interchange them, just use them the other way around, and then that way you can really make the most of this die. You can really have a great variety.
Look, DB.
There you go. It was like I knew.
It was intentional.
Absolutely, definitely. So another thing that I've used these for is some of the bunting that we've got as well on the show. So I love these for being able to, again, personalise something really, really quickly.
That's my very own auction site.
D-Bay. D-Bay. That was good. That was good. Now, I was told Matt did the dad jokes, but that was excellent. That was really quite something.
Oh, you've got that to cover at 8 o'clock.
Yes. So that's that one. And I love it. But what we've actually then done is, let me show you the bunting that I was talking about. So this is something that we've created using an owl die, which is on the show, which
we showed you that on the preview, didn't we?
So I'll just pop this away.
Now, that owl die, you didn't need to think about it for long. It's very, very popular already. We only showed it to you on the preview for about 30 seconds. It's $13.99, and you've got all the elements to make the eyes and the wings, the beak as well. $13.99, but if you're in the Freedom Club, it's $12.59 for this big die, and all the elements you need you layer it up, don't you, basically?
Yeah, you do. So, again, leatherette, because for me, with the bunting, I want something quick. So usually with bunting, you're thinking about big triangles, you're having to double-side them potentially, but this is so quick. So, again, suddenly you've got to host a party. I'm all about the suddenly, if you hadn't picked that one up already. Everything's really quite last minute and fly by the seat of your pants. So I'm going to pop these 2 layers on here. And again, so I've got 2 layers of it. And what I've done is I've doubled up my length of fabric and I've kept the folded end here so that I'm not wasting any fabric there. So I'm then going to feed that in and roll it through. You know, I'm going to have so much fun with all these pieces that I've cut. I'm going to be there in the backstage just making something frantically ready for the next show. So here we go. There are a couple of owls. And what I love with these designs is that with these, they slightly indent on some of the parts. So you can see there, that's where the eyes go.
So it kind of embosses, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Now, if you're doing that with a cotton, if you were doing this with a cotton and you're going to applique it on, then actually what that does is it means that you can see where you would put your eyes. So you could then pop these on.
And also you can run different coloured fabric through, and then you can have obviously a contrast, like on the packaging there, you can see that they've done the body in the turquoise, black for the eyes, tartan for his wings. Fantastic. So this is a brilliant price, £12.59, and you can have different coloured owls all over a blanket or a throw or a quilt or whatever. Make them into maybe, I don't know, put them on kids' pyjamas or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some fun with it.
You can really, really use them. And people, yeah, it's just so much fun. You can do it on cards, everything. And you can use the elements of it as well. So even I've had people, I've used things like the little eyes. I'm going to make some little eyes there, using, again, some of the scraps that I have from cutting the letters before. So I've just got to make sure I line them up well. So just take a moment to do that. And so, like you said, with the contrasting fabrics, I can do that. Pop this one back through, give that a quick roll.
It's lovely, though, isn't it, to know that you've got a machine and you've got dies that will cut through virtually anything within reason.
That's it.
Material, doesn't really matter what type of material it is, whether it's cotton, whether it's silk, whether it's felt. It doesn't make any difference whether it's burlap, hessian, leather, leatherette, craft metal, balsa wood. Oh, the list just goes on and on and on. Yeah, not just soft crafting.
No, and even we've done it before where I've cut out some of these shapes using shrink plastic, melted them down, made a keyring.
Or jewellery.
So melted them down, heated them. So they really are versatile. So that's the owl with a little contrasting eyes there. So he's got little eyes on him now, and you could do the same. And again, you could use like the hearts that you've got from the gingerbread man, and you can really play around with the dies, and they all work well together.
Well, we were doing gingerbread men bunting earlier on, and like wall hangings. Well, nothing's stopping you doing owl bunting.
No, exactly. So they suit every occasion. So the ones that I've actually prepared already, they say birthday, but with the speed at which I can do them, I can then just fanning them out there. You can just very, very quickly, and I just glued these on using the heat glue again, and just, you can really easily change up the letters and make some more bunting. So the ones that I've brought in today, I have actually just pegged onto some ribbon, because then you can take down the letters that aren't right and replace them with the letters that are, so you could put someone's name on.
If you look over to our patio doors over there in a second, you'll see the actual bunting that Beth's put together. I think this is absolutely genius, and it's a different figure for different words. So the owl is happy. Christmas is the combination of the butterfly, and then at the end there, if you go to the right a little bit, you've got baby with the bunny rabbits. Happy Christmas, baby. That's really cute, isn't it? And the actual rabbit is in the show today as well. All of those, remember, are on Freedom discount prices, so you're looking at only £12.59 for each of those, apart from the butterfly, I think. Yeah, because that's brand new today, but that butterfly is really detailed too. So all those dies, if you want to see the list of them and all the prices, have a little look at the website, hochanda.com. We're having fun. It's the launch of the one-day special. 2 dies from Sizzix, 2 big dies. We've sold out of the triangular option. That's gone in about half an hour.
Amazing.
There are a couple that have bounced back, I've just been told. You can grab them if you're quick, if you go to the website, hochanda.com. Someone obviously got distracted, the phone rang or the doorbell went or something. But we've got the gingerbread man, we've got the Christmas tree, and we've got the square dance. The tree, 60% of the stock of the day is gone.
Wow.
Choose which 2 you'd like, check out your basket, but this is what you can do with them. Take a look. So yeah, if you want to have a little look at our website, you'll see all the dies that we've got featured in the show. There is one die, remember, that's only at the discounted price for this hour, and that is the square. So if you want the square, please go to the website or ask the operator for it. Ask them for the happy hour deal. You'll only be charged $9.99 for that square, whereas it will go up by £5 at the end of the hour. The other offers that you've got to be really quick for are the one-day specials, obviously, as well, because we've lost one already. The triangle didn't last more than half an hour. That has now completely gone. We have the square dance, which is a variation on the square. We have the Christmas tree, which is over half stock gone. That's 60% gone with the Christmas tree. And the other one, of course, is the gingerbread man that's proving very popular as well. And just to give you an idea of the gingerbread man, what you can do with him, here he is in brown felt. He is approaching 20% of the stock now gone on him, and Beth's decorated him with fabric paint, which is rather cute, but you can embellish him with anything you choose. Have fun with him. And he doesn't have to be a gingerbread man, it can be all sorts. You can dress him up, all sorts of things. So use them as maybe card hangers or as bunting with letters on. Maybe if you're going to go for the alphabet, that's been a very, very popular choice. And the alphabet has been used on this stocking as well. And the alphabet's going really quickly, actually, if you want that. You're liking the font on that one, and it comes with numbers as well. And, of course, we decorated the doorstop with letters of the alphabet as well. Holly Jolly Christmas. There's the Christmas tree out of a leatherette, and ho, ho, ho on the back. Love it. So, yeah, you choose, basically, which dies you'd like. They're Sizzix Bigs dies. So the big thing is that you have to have a big shot because they won't work in other die cutting machines. But the Big Shot is such a versatile machine. So if you want to go for one today so that you can basically buy any die that's out there and know that it will work in the machine, we've got it. $84.99 is the price. It's £25 off at the moment. And it's also on FlexiBuy. And you get all the plates you need. And 883889 is the item number. If you want it today on FlexiBuy, it's only $42.50, and Freedom members don't have to worry about the P&P. Otherwise, it's that plus the P&P today and $42.50 in 4 weeks' time. And then the happy hour deal that I talked about, here it is. This die will cut your 4-inch square with a 1/4-inch seam allowance, OK? $9.99, you've only got 14 minutes left. And then this will go back up to $14.99, so a £5 saving, a third off the price, and you've got 13 minutes and a couple of seconds left before that price no longer exists. 341613, and the owl, you want the owl, that's going very quickly. And remember, the owl cuts out the eyes, it cuts out all the components, the wings and everything else separately, so you can I was going to say paper piece them, but you know what I mean with fabric. You can play around with the felts and the cottons. Loads more on the website if you want to have a little look at the special deals we've got, especially for Freedom members, lots of discounts and no P&P to think about either. Makes sense to become a Freedom member.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Great. Let me show you some more.
Please.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Okay. We talked
carry on.
earlier about, I just get so excited about cutting things. Yes. So.
I see you've got glitter plates.
Yes, because it's Christmas. Yeah. I did have to check that I was allowed to actually use them, and until this is a very special moment for me. I've saved these. I resisted cutting them mostly because I've just been stroking them because they're really pretty.
Is this inauguration of the plates?
It is. It's a beautiful moment. So we were talking earlier about using the card for cutting out and designing things. So I've actually got some card cut to size there.
Just to let you know, we've got those on the screen. If you want your glitter plates for Christmas, $14.98. It does come with a die pick. It's a bit like a pokey tool, but it's designed to clean your dies out.
Yeah, it's really, really good. First of all, I was like, well, why would you need one of those? But especially if you've got a die that's got some quite fine corners, or even that alphabet die that we were looking at, depending on what fabric you use, some of those fabrics will fray quite a lot, which will mean that you'll end up with a lot of fabric residue on the die. Now, that, in essence, means that instead of cutting through the 5 layers you think you're cutting through, you're actually cutting through like 12 because of all the fluff build-up. So you can just get your die. I've got your die pick. Yeah, essentially. And it's just a really good way of prolonging the life of your die. So you just get that, and then depending on which die you're using, you can just get that and go into those corners.
And also, that's the only maintenance there is. There's nothing else to think about.
There's nothing else to do. People have asked me if you need to sharpen them. I have never had need. And I will use these to demonstrate at shows, and I worked out one time that I could easily cut 32,000 triangles on a specific die. And at that point, you kind of think that you might want to get a different shape anyway after 32,000.
Yeah.
Potentially, you might
think it's time for a change.
Maybe. So I've then got these here.
These shapes.
Yeah, I love it. You know what? This die, I looked at it and I was like, oh, how would it go together? So have a play. Grab some of the pieces.
Okay.
So I've got these different pieces here. And again, you can use your spare card, but you could see that you can make all sorts of different shapes. I'm going to cut another set for you now. So you've got a few more to play with.
Oh, so you've got two different sizes of square.
Yeah, that those ones will fit together. And then you've got the triangle as well. And I'm going to just roll these back through.
Oh, so they're exactly... Oh, no.
No, so with these shapes, you do bear in mind, because it's a patchwork shape, it does also include the seam allowance.
Right.
So when you're laying it out like this, it may not look like it matches exactly, but just bear that in mind.
Right.
There'll be a tiny bit of overlap, and then
Right,
that'll do it. So it's not an exact science, but it gives you such a good idea of how to actually do this. So you could then...
And again, your top tip is to get the card elements first before you start cutting fabric.
Absolutely. Well, you can get hold of your card at a much better price usually. For your area that you're getting, you can get it a lot cheaper. So for me, this is about frugality. I'm like, my fabric is sacred. If I'm going to cut into it, especially if it's a fabric design that I've chosen, I really have loved on this fabric, it's got to be right.
So is it like a jigsaw puzzle on the main carpet in the lounge?
How did you know?
Oh, I've got a picture.
Yeah. I also usually manage to get it in a doorway or something like that, and everyone's kind of hopping around me as I'm trying to do this. But you could see that you could kind of choose your elements. So if I've got this one here, I could make that into a kite shape, for instance.
Okay.
So, and then I could work around that. So then what I would do is, say that I wanted it to just be the kite shape as the feature, I could then start piecing together the rest of the shape around it so that that kite shape is the feature, if that makes sense. So that's actually what we've got on this piece here,
right.
On this quilt that we've the quilt top that we've got shown. And what that is it's got the like a kite shape that appears with a light and a dark contrast, and you do something like that, so you can.
To be honest, this is every bit as versatile as the triangular die that we've sold out of, sadly. But look at the sort of patterns that you can create with it. Now, when I was looking at those pieces individually, I couldn't see that. So these are there on the packaging at the back to give you guidance as to what to put where to create wonderful shapes like this. Love them. Absolutely love them. And you're loving this as well. I reckon this is going to go exactly the same way as the triangle. Now we're actually demonstrating the square.
Oh, I think so. And even just really, really quickly, you can see that you've got quite a striking pattern just from using those colours like that. But then you could see that actually if you wanted to, you could, let's keep the pink one in and let's put the blue and the green in as well.
Nearly half the stock of the square's gone. Is this going to be here at 8 o'clock tonight with Matt? I've got my doubts.
I'm thinking it might not be. But then you see, so then now that suddenly becomes like a cartwheel design that's got all the different colours, a little bit wonky admittedly, but it's all there. And then you can have, like, again, you could embellish these centerpieces, you could do all sorts of things with those. The other thing that I would say with this particular die, this is really useful, is that if you're cutting these fabrics, you're going to need potentially one to go this way and then the matching pair, like here. You've got one fabric like this direction with those angles and one the other. So if you were to lay this out with card first, you could write on there, right side, wrong side, and you could layer up your fabric accordingly, and it would mean that there would be no mistakes of going, okay, turn it, get all your fabric out and realise that you've cut all lefts or all rights, so to speak. And you'd actually have exactly what you need to
I would have never
complete it.
thought of doing that with card. What a great way of making sure that you're happy with the pattern before you actually commit to starting to cut out the fabrics. Genius.
Yeah, it's one of those things you learn along the way after making many mistakes and wasting fabric, which, you know, leaves you sobbing quietly into your cup of tea.
Well, remember, if you want the square, that is still available. You've got a choice of 3 Biggs dies now. 2 you choose as a pick and mix. You only pay $29.98. So basically, you're getting £12 off by buying 2 together. $14.99 each it works out to for Biggs dies, which is brilliant value. Absolutely amazing. So the square is still there. We've still got the Christmas tree, and we still have the gingerbread man as well. The square, we think, probably will be the next one to sell out. That looks as if it's going to be not far away, or possibly the Christmas tree, because that's not far off. That's not far behind. Most of you, a lot of you, are going for both of these. The Christmas tree, over 70% of the stock has gone on that. Half of the square dance, approaching half the stock of the square dance has gone, which has got all that versatility on the back. And you could be making, with that fantastic Christmas tree, those 3-dimensional ornaments. You can hang them, you can stand them up, they stand proud. And we've got lots of other dies as well, so all is not lost. If you do miss out on your one-day special, check the website, because we've got lots of special offers for Freedom members and also happy hour deals. Every hour that Beth is here, we'll have a different happy hour deal. You've got, how long left? Just over 5 minutes to go before, of course, the next hour begins, and it's the lovely Leslie and Chocolate Baroque coming up. But that price will go back to $14.99 If you get this now, it's £9.99. And what a useful square die that will be to have, with the seam allowance built into it too.
Absolutely. So good. And I would recommend, knowing some of the other ones that are going to be coming up, maybe get this one, get the next one, get the next one. They work together. Yeah, invest in those happy hour deals. The other thing to do is that these dies are such a great way of buying your own Christmas present and then telling someone specifically, right, I bought this, all you have to do is wrap it for me.
OK, now we've literally got a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
Are we going to run the heart die through?
We are. You mentioned it, and I wanted to show you something that you can do with it. So, I've got some...
Tissue paper.
Just tissue paper. This is just tissue paper that was... Sorry, that's going to make a horrible noise, but go quickly.
I quite like the sound of tissue paper.
Well, it sounds like presents.
Yeah, it does.
So, that's a good thing. So, just going to fold it up. Now, you asked if it would do all of those at once. So actually, if you can see there, I've got them upside down, but you can see even little bits of flecks of fabric where I've used it. But within that, you've got a whole load of those heart dies. I'm going to lay that on top. I've got lots of different layers.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. We've only got about a minute left on the show.
Go.
What a busy launch we've had. Thank you to everyone watching and for your orders. And I hope you've got what you've asked for. Here we go. Love hearts everywhere.
And before you know it, you have...
confetti.
Exactly. Next wedding you go to, and homemade confetti in seconds.
Wow. Look at all those hearts. With one pass through the machine, you've got thin ones, you've got fat ones, you've got small ones, you've got large ones.
Yeah.
So much love.
So much.
In one die. Imagine if they're red tissue paper hearts.
That's it. You could do red, pink. You could just get one pack of tissue paper and you're away.
Brilliant. I love it.
Absolutely loads of them.
So the details for the heart die, if you would like that, you've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 hearts in one die.
On one die. Yeah.
11 hearts for £14.99. 932439. Beth, great first show. Amazing first show. You're back with Matt at 8 o'clock tonight.
8 o'clock, yes.
OK. And also Leslie's here, of course, with Chocolate Baroque. Now, there will be a new happy hour deal at 8 o'clock tonight, another new happy hour deal tomorrow at 9 and at 12, 1 and at 5. I should know by now, shouldn't I? 9, 1 and 5 tomorrow. So those are the happy hour hours. But, of course, check out your basket with anything that's in the show. If you've got it in your basket, check out. That confirms your order. I'm off until Saturday, so have a good next few days. Thanks, Beth. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
And Matt will be with Beth a bit later on. Enjoy the rest of the evening here. So yes, Chocolate Baroque. We're on the way with that next with the lovely Leslie. Then it's Sizzix Home Sewn Pick of the Mix one-day special with Matt and Beth. And then later, Ali's Stitchy Fingers, quilting rulers on the way at 9 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Jenny Mays from Hobby Art. Hobby Art's a family-run company and we've been designing and manufacturing stamps for over 28 years now. We have an extensive range of clear and rubber stamps and we're proud that they're all manufactured in Britain. Whatever your style, there's always something that will interest you with Hobby Art stamps. Crafting is my passion and I love teaching. I love sharing my ideas with other people. This is why I enjoy being part of the Hochanda family, because I have the time to share my ideas, maybe open a door for somebody and give them the confidence to start stamping. So make sure you join me, Jenny Mays, on Hochanda.
I'm Dali from Dali Art and I've been crafting for over 10 years and I've actually just recently turned my passion of crafting into my business. I started off actually with doing canvases for mixed media, lots of interior design, and I've actually grown that passion and gone into mainstream in terms of stencils, dies and stamps. My collection is mixed media, East meets West, and a lot of this comes from my heritage. And I've also just collaborated with Pentart, and this gives me the products I need to enhance my stamps, stencils and die designs. Please join me for my shows here on Hochanda.